And with that, we should A, be live, and B, my levels are still so loud. I am so loud on stream. Why is that? Welcome back, everybody, to another week of, Polyhedra and this wonderful team of Sept Imperium plays Curse of Strahd. Now, this is the month to be tuning into this, if this is the first time you guys are doing that. Also, I guess epilepsy warning. So, there's a Patreon creator who is amazing. Oh, let me see. That's gonna be better. Whose name is James's RPG. I think it's what it is. He does a lot of like really cool art and animated scenes and the like, and we're using that as the background here, and it is amazing. You guys should definitely check it out. Support him on Patreon if you guys can. But there's going to be flashing and lightning and all that kind of stuff in the background. Well, now I am a little bit concerned. I definitely want to make sure that nobody accidentally does get like some kind of a attack. So slight epilepsy warning. Maybe we have to change that in the future, which would be a bummer. It's a really cool background for that stuff.
No, I think with as much as our portraits and everything are taken up over the screen, I think it's pretty subtle.
Alrighty. With that, obviously to introduce, we have a little bit of a new layout. I had already introduced that with the Odyssey stream, and I'm excited to do this here too, because Curse of Strahd in general is a very RP-focused campaign, as you guys may or may not have noticed. Now, these boys like to throw down when they do the combat as well, so you guys are still going to see plenty of that. We'll switch over to the old layout until we have that finalized, but a little bit of a cleaned up, a little bit of a, you know, the Taroka fortune teller feel to this one. So super excited to introduce this. Hopefully you guys are excited about this as I am. Now, as far as
I think it looks beautiful, by the way, David.
Hey, thanks, great. Man. I appreciate it. It took more time than I'm willing to admit to make all of this happen, but it was fun to do. All that said, as far as announcements go really quick, we had a little bit of an internet hiccup on Thursday. For those of you guys that watched through that, sincerely appreciate you guys doing that. In addition to that, we are obviously aware of that. That was actually not a tech issue on our part. I just ended up talking with wonderful Comcast. This stream is definitely not brought to you by them because they are not the best. With that, we all have our horror stories, but long story short with that one, yeah, we had terrible connection. We ended up dropping out halfway through. We still had people come back and watch us again. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for the support. Amazing. Just thank you so much. That said, we want to shout out again something that Rolak, played by Drake, announced last week. If you want to reiterate what you had said last week.
Yeah, just for the entire month, anybody that goes ahead and follows, subscribes, or does a cheer or a boost or anything like that, for the entire month can be entered to win Von Richten's guide, a digital copy that we'll give away at the end of the month. So what'll happen at the end of the month, David will just take a tally of everybody that did any of that, put them together, you know, and then we'll just like roll maybe like a random number, maybe in the first Sunday game we have afterwards. Like maybe we'll roll a dice and be like, okay, well, who was the 16th person, you know, we'll see how many people were total, and then that person will gift a copy too. So,
and super exciting. That's going to be absolutely awesome. So yeah, definitely help these guys out. I'm working out a system and I'm going to test drive it here next week, and this is actually the next announcement. By next week I mean this coming Saturday, because we're going to be doing a Tailspire one-shot. Now, there are a couple things that are super exciting about this. If you have never heard about Tailspire before, imagine what we're doing here on Foundry, but in 3D. It is really cool. It's if you take Dwarven Forge and you put a little bit of Divinity sprinkle upon that stuff. Now, what is the most amazing part about this one, or this one shot? It's going to involve people from the community, and I am going to try something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, which is let's play high level stuff, because I hate that most campaigns never run to max level. So one of the things that we always talk about when we start campaigns is how can we make this go to level 20, right? What paths can we take? With Von Richten's guide coming out, it was an easy thought for this group, right? But this is going to be a level 20 one shot, like I said, and most importantly, what I'm going to be test driving is a method where if you guys cheer, and in this one it's going to be a circus. You guys are going to be essentially throwing cheers into the arena as these guys are going to fight some kind of, you know, thing that might be in there with them as well. And as you guys throw out cheers, you guys are going to be able to give them small boosts. Now, there's not going to be any kind of shenanigans where you guys can throw harder challenges at them or anything like that. We don't want you guys killing people on camera. That would be terrible. Not literally, FBI, if you're watching. But on the flip side, if you guys want to help out the PCs by cheering like even 50 bits or something like that, and they get like a little +1 bonus to their next attack, that'll be an awesome way to kind of say, as they're doing really epic things and leaning into the character moment and kind of like, you know, holding up the head of the orc after they cut it off or something like that. That's going to be awesome. And I think you as a community should have an influence on how to do that. Azar, thank you so much for cheering. And because he cheered, that means that Azar has, and with that one, and I'll have to double check on the name too, because right now, of course, it is Hoyt, has an advantage on every roll for the rest of the night. But we're going to be test driving that next week, and I'm excited to introduce that to the streams too, because I think as you guys, you know, have something like kill roll, like, all right, got that noted. Everyone advantage against.
It's not hard. I only have
like
12 hit points right now, so.
But as you guys become more and more involved with this, I really want this to be something unique where you as the Twitch community can have a little bit of influence, whether you be the gods or Lady Luck or someone else coming in during that moment and being able to give little boosts to people, right? As Chris watches us there, and we've got a little Chris face going on. But with that, as we're going on, stay tuned on that. That's going to be next Saturday at 7 p.m. Wait, 7 or 8 p.m. Let me double check again. I gotta. Do you remember off the top of your head, Drake? Was it 7 or 8 p.m.?
I want to say 7.
I think it is 7 too. 7 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. Tune
check
in.
for you.
We're going to obviously do an announcement, a shout out, and it's going to have the right caption, which is going to be amazing. So with that stuff, the last announcement that I have with that one is just that we have also wonderful music playing in the background. We've had this music for a while now, and it is at 7. And just because I got some requests about this one, this is Travis Savoy. Fantastic composer, has amazing music also for Icewind's Dale, Winter's Wrath it's called. If you guys head over to Bandcamp, cannot suggest his music enough. It's amazing. But that is it for me. Do you guys have any other announcements before we actually delve into the session?
Good to go.
There's one thing that I get to change because it's just slightly rude. Right now, that's not true. Get out of here, Holy. Nobody knows you.
I noticed that.
That's much better. That's better. That feels good. That feels much, much better. Speaking of Hoyt and Voth, maybe I guess a little addendum announcement is going to be, we are going to have Jason back. Condolences to everyone in the group. And this is going to be Sal's last session. So with the events from last week, it's going to be quite the thing to be watching. Hey, and we have Loneberg in the chat too. Loneberg, fantastic artist, has done a lot of the character designs for the Odyssey stream. If you guys want to check that out as well. But that is it for me. With that, are you guys ready to go into the recap? Let's do it. All right. So previously, as I get my notes ready too, you found the place where you had been prophesied to find a sword, a legendary sword of proportions that would help you to defeat Strahd. Something that you guys, through the Taroka reading that one of the Vistana women, specifically Madame Ava, had told you guys was to be a sword made out of sunlight. You traveled and very succinctly were able to get to the back part of the Argynvostholt and get up into the back part, the tower of Argynvostholt. There, you saw upon a tapestry a little hook that seemed to have held the sword at some point, but the sword wasn't there. You were immediately attacked by some spectral warriors, guardians, that struck at you guys, and you were able to get rid of them relatively quickly. However, as you guys made your way back down and got to the north side, the second level of the mansion, you got into a little bit of a guard room, meeting room of sorts, where you found a bunch of these revenants, individuals whose bodies and souls were so attached to the plane that they did not pass on, that vengeance itself was somehow able to carry them forward again and again throughout ages. And you spoke to Sir Godfrey, who was the brother of, well, the now invisible servant of Nax, after he read the passage in the book. You converse with him, and he seemed to not be interested in fighting you guys. It seems though he is a revenant bent on destroying Strahd. That does not mean he wants to fight you guys, which was interesting because there were 3 other revenants that attacked you guys almost immediately on sight when you got into the chapel. Now, he explains that there was another, someone who is currently in charge, and that if you guys were to attack him, he, or specifically Godfrey, was not going to stand in you guys' way. So you guys did what every adventuring group does, prepare very well. Had a little curse removed from Ganon, who now no longer thinks himself to be a bull man, bear pig man, but instead to be the Ganon, who somehow was put under a magical blade, had some kind of a weird tattoo carved into him, and thereby lost his memory. It seemed that some kind of minotaur soul had been scribed and put into and upon his body, that then cohabitated that same flesh person of his. Well, with the blessing and, well, removal of that curse by Godfrey, you guys were able to, yes, it was bullshit, that's right. You guys were able to draw that energy out, and Ganon now is free to be himself. Now, as you guys moved forward, you got around the corner and you saw the individual with the massive Zweihänder, the great sword, with the pommel and the actual hilt and guard that looked like a massive silver dragon. You guys engaged him in combat, but didn't know about the multiple spectral warriors that also stood at attendance with him. As the battle went on, more and more of those warriors rose, and you guys' one chance became taking out the leader. With a clutch, turn undead from your roguish priestess, Dagmar, you're able to turn half the tide against themselves. And then, with a clutch final radiant blast, you're able to turn the Revenant into ashes.
Guiding bolt.
Exactly. And that is where we're going to pick it up this week. Is there anything that I forgot to mention that you guys want to include there too? Hey, thank you for the follow, by the way.
The only thing that I can think of is that he did tell us before we went in here to start this fight that if we were able to defeat him, he kind of alluded to that he might stand with us he might be able to help us fight against Strahd, and that that Ganon would have the opportunity to join his order.
Ooh, getting into some high audio stuff. Hang on one second, you guys. Repeat that last part again, Drake, just so I make sure I actually heard you right.
That Ganon would have the ability to join the order.
Mm-hmm.
Silva Dragon.
And even more important than that, Jeff fell to his death again.
I mean, that is pretty important. That is true. Poor Jeff was also scared.
The big bad, he turned to ash, correct?
He did. He was turned to ash by that guiding bolt radiant blast from Dagmar.
And there's no bodies in this room, correct? Because all the others were spirits.
Correct.
I know where there's some bodies, though.
Okay. We picking back up?
We're picking back up. Alrighty. As you guys look around, you guys see as the ashes start floating down, Ganon, you're kind of like on your knees, putting the fingers underneath the ash and pulling out this beautiful silvery platinum steel sword with its amazing dragon hilt. And you guys look around, breathing heavily as the last spectral warriors with spectral chains tied to their chests being dragged underneath. You guys look around as Esmeralda's also breathing heavy. That was pretty good. And she kind of holds herself against the wall and kind of just slumps down and just starts wiping sweat from her face. What do you guys do?
Are you going to throw that sword on the ground too, Ganon?
Taking my jokes, man. Well, what he was going to do is he's going to carefully pick it up, try as he might, and then he's going to slip the grip, and it's going to fall. And he's going to catch it and be like, oh, that's not what I want to do. Not this time. Not this time, David.
Make me a dexterity check, Gannon.
Oh.
Got him!
Natty one, natty one, natty one.
Come on, baby.
Maybe I should
it's
change
the-
that. If you do give some bits, maybe Gannon will have disadvantage, right? Let's say 100 bits. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. You can just click on it.
It's in the chat.
Yeah, it's in the
you're
chat.
just clicking it.
And call it out for chat too, because they won't see the rolls this time. All right, Gannon, what'd you get?
I can't see
Oh,
it either.
14.
All right.
Oh, I can't see it.
You can't see it? Oh, it was a private GM roll, so only he saw it. Interesting. So Gannon, as you do your little trick and you try to catch it, you are able barely to catch it as you guys kind of stand there. The door behind Finn opens. He goes, guys. He kind of starts walking towards you guys. Also, FY, sadly, Chris and Clancy were not able to join us here tonight, but they're going to be with us in spirit and maybe even watching. So yeah, we'll have him back again next week. As you see multiple of the revenants kind of step in. And Godfrey kind of coming around the corner, just looking at the destruction, looking at you guys all looking wounded. Suddenly more revenants kind of coming around the corner, starting to pull their blades as Godfrey just puts up his hand. Stop. Horngard has not represented us a long time. I know this. You see two of the other revenants, actual blades driven through their midst, just completely tattered chainmail and breastplate hanging off of them rather than providing proper any kind of protection or anything. Stepping forward, you see the desiccated skin kind of loping off their faces. Ormgard was the best leader we had ever since the dragon fell. Godfrey, in no way affected by this, just goes, you may believe this, but the truth is that he has been no better than Strahd. And you see the burning red of the eyes of the other revenants just get more and more intense. Godfrey just puts up his hand as he says, we will not fight you, and you will not fight us. I am the highest ranking knight of the Silver Order. He points towards you, Gannon, now holds the blade, the dragon. As such, he shall take the oath. If he does, he will become a knight. And as such, will have the right to speak. The revenants all look at each other, and all of you guys can tell that there seems to be like weird politicking going on. There seem to be at least two different factions of these revenants. On the one side, you have Godfrey and these relatively passive-seeming revenants, at least ambivalent towards you guys. And then there are more revenants who definitely were much more zealous in the same way that Horngard was. Godfrey starts stepping towards you. Take the blade and rise.
I don't think you saw you do that, Tom.
I did not. Sorry.
He like
did.
rose.
Just especially because the frames are going to be really tight on you guys. If you guys want to describe what your characters does, it helps a lot.
So yeah, I guess he was kneeling. Then he got up. He butterfingers and then but caught the blade, dexterity check, and then he, as he came around the corner, took the blade up and then I guess rose to the occasion.
He looks back over to you, Rolak. Remind me really quick. Did you give him the silver sword back, or you kept it, right? Because he
I
told you
offered
to
it
keep
to-
it.
I-
Yeah.
Yeah, I offered to give it to him, and he told me to keep it.
As he goes over to you, Rolak, one more time and just holds out his hand. May I have my sword back for this occasion?
So I
takes it.
pull it out and hand it to him.
Maybe something from the old times. Age before. Should be this. Ganon. Near.
That's close enough. Any kneels?
Godfrey steps close enough to get into beheading range. Just kidding. As he gets closer and closer towards you, he has the sword out. Just kind of is just holding it in front of him. Knights of the Order of the Silver Dragon once swore an oath to defend those who are defenseless, protect those without protection, and to see after these people whom they pledge themselves to. He looks around the room at all of the different revenants in the place. Time has come. As the devil himself crushed us, crushed this place. And you guys can see there's that massive hole in the ceiling still, as there's a little bit of rain just starting to slowly drizzle and flow down. New age has come, and we, as the Order, barely a shadow of once we were. You would be the first living member of our order. Hundreds of years ago. What drives you?
Completion.
See Godfrey kind of looking around all of the other revenants as they just kind of like seem to shuffle around. Then Ganon, he seems to be addressing you, but actually looking at all of the other people here. You shall complete what we have failed to do for hundreds of years. Be the sword that is going to crush darkness, to cut through it like it is nothing. To be the vengeance that fuels us. To complete our oath of vengeance. Will you do this, Ganon?
Yes, I will do. I will do all that I can.
And swear on your life and honor that you will carry out this oath. Swear the oath.
Okay. I swear.
You see multiple revenants turn away from the crowd and leave the room. All shooting long, hateful looks at Godfrey and you, Ganon. You see a glimmer of something. Ganon, go ahead and make me an insight check. And again, call it out. Call it out for everyone.
3.
Alrighty, that was a
natty
natural
one.
one for a total of a 3. Yeah, again, and you're just like, this whole situation. This is the joke, right? This doesn't matter. This is lolly, right? Maybe I should throw this thing down. As Godfrey just shakes his head. You may be our last hope before we lose ourselves completely. Do not fail us. As he takes the blade and hovers it over your left shoulder and slowly lowers it upon it. I hereby. And he lifts it back up to your other shoulder. The Sir Ganon of the Order Silver Dragon. Rise. As you stand up, you see that most of the revenants at this point have actually left. You also see that maybe 2 have still kind of remained there, standing by Godfrey's side. As he turns back towards the rest of you guys, walks towards Rolak, flipping the blade around and just holding the hilt out for you to take.
I'll take it back and then sheath it.
May this lead you better than it did me. And may you lead. And he kind of looks over his shoulder, but not really, backwards towards Ganon. This company better than I did this order. Godspeed.
It's never too late to turn it around.
There's actually kind of like this weird, mirthless, very dry, kind of like mirthless laugh that just comes out of him. Like, ah! As he holds up his undead hands and flexes them. Kind of like stretches the muscles of the once living organism that he was. And the burning red eyes look into you. It's been much too late for me. I appreciate the gesture.
So if we called on you to assist in the final battle against Strahd, would you heed that call?
Horngard will return. It was my hope that through a showing of pride, honor, something to look up to, the rest of the followers of his would look towards Ganon as a ray of hope. He looks towards the 2 revenants that stayed. If you call, I will not be able to come. God will return. It is in the nature of the revenant.
Question. You talked about cleansing this place, laying the dragon's bones to rest. If by some miracle we can find these bones, return them, and lay them to rest, would that change anything?
What drives us is vengeance for the death of the dragon. Also, continued existence of Strahd. I'm sorry, but I do not know the answer.
Okay.
I still hoped that I would hope that it would be so.
Fair enough.
He nods. Do best. Maybe Horngard is not here, but his kind of like looks around the place ominously. Please. You are no more welcome in Argynwashtold than you were before. Go. Just backs up on you guys.
I think we should take the hint, gentlemen and ladies, and go ahead and get back on our magical pony express and head back to town.
I know you revenants occupy the bodies of fallen people. we come across 3 that we had to destroy that were probably Morgard's lackeys. Would you mind if we took those 3 bodies?
He squints his eyes and looks over at the window that is shattered where Jay was able to jump out. Do what you must, necromancer.
Thank you.
Hey, at least he asked. That's nice.
Yeah. I figured, we're in this house. So.
Okay, so let's grab the 3 bodies, and then how much do they weigh?
Less than an average body of that size, just because parts of it have decayed away as you guys go back downstairs to the chapel, where there's some rainwater actually kind of dripping from the ceiling up above as well. And as you see some soft lightning barely visible through some of those mosaic windows that are all across this room. The one thing that does make them heavier is that you have heavy armor at one point. It's mostly just scrap metal now, attached to all of them. So if you strip them, it'll be easier.
Yeah, strip them things.
Are you gonna burn them down to skeletons too?
Yeah, probably not in here, but yeah. I don't want to catch the whole place on fire.
Okay.
During
so
that moment, Esmeralda kind of like leans over towards you, Knack, and just be like, exactly what happened up there?
Up where?
Weren't we fought dozens of ghosts? We're just walking away from this?
I mean, what do you want us to do? This place is cursed because their dragon died. The bones are in Castle Ravenloft. Most of the revenants here are still are not on our side. Horngard is going to come back, which will likely he'll rally his troops and attack us. Like, what is there here for us to take?
No, I just don't trust the situation. If this Horngard is still going to be at our back, it's just like when Rolak wanted to kill all of the spiders, yes?
Yeah. There's really there's no killing these things. They're going to come back no matter what. They're always going to be here.
Shit. I suppose that's true. You are the closest thing to a revenant, yes? Looking at you, Voth. Do you think there's any chance we can put them to rest?
Well, that is a good question. I think cleansing this place might put them to rest. But other than that, I'm not sure.
I really hate leaving places without really, burning them to the ground if I can help it, but okay. She kind of looks around at the chapel and all of the stuff around.
Y'all want to grab that statue as well?
we're stealing a statue now?
No, the bust. That has your face on it. Your dead face on it.
No, we're not taking that.
Alright. Not to bring it up.
No, we're not taking that.
By the way, wanted to say thank you really quick as they're talking about a statue with faces on it. Thank you guys for the raid. Hi. And thank you for the follows. Very much appreciated.
So we've got 3 bodies. I'm guessing they weigh what? When they're stripped down, 60 pounds? 70 pounds?
A bit more than
50
that. They
pounds?
all, actually, as you guys investigate them a little bit further, are pretty hefty looking martial types, right? You see adventurers that might have come and were, if you want to put it in meta terms, there's some fighters and rangers or maybe something like that. More well-built people that certainly have decayed at some point. So you're looking at something closer to 150 bucks each. But that said, you guys easily can take the time. You have enough people here that you can split the work amongst all of you guys. Easy.
Okay, let's carry them outside and let's regroup at our wagon.
Yeah, you guys walking over and grab underneath the ankles and the hands just and where that red light was before in their eyes, there's just nothing. It's just completely dead orbs that are mostly decayed, looking back up at you guys as it kind of swinging back and forth. You see, the only person that is really giddy about this is, of course, Knack currently, while the rest of you guys are doing this, of course, they kind of like, Undertaker work, and Dagmar just goes, huh, this is more than I usually have. As you guys are carrying the dead bodies through the foyer and out in front of the dragon statue. The rain is now starting to come down a little bit heavy on you guys as you guys put the bodies out. There's a little bit of an overhang that you certainly could like do your I don't know what to properly call that. Your Burning Man?
I think it's pretty appropriate.
It's the Burning Man, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, now I have to include a very large. What are those really big Wiccan, like wicker baskets?
God.
Like those big creations. They have a name and I forgot. I'm so excited when I find that though. I found some really cool stat blocks for those before, and they're terrible.
Please, no!
Alrighty. So as Knack goes ahead and just has two flames burning, it's just like just starts carving away with a flame blade almost coming out of his hand. We'll just reflavor the firebolt there. And there's just the disgusting smell of burned flesh coming off of it bit by bit. What do the rest of you guys do, as that will take a little bit of time to properly do?
Well, Voth will also go and help them burn them up.
So many fire blades on them. Dagmar, I'm sure, will give some kind of a little guidance on how to... Oh, no, if you cut it out of that piece, much better. Yeah, see? But it's less efficient and, just gives you like a little bit of a how-to and all of that stuff. Esmeralda actually has firebolt too, so that is going to be even more fire blades. There's just lasers at this point, getting all of the decayed flesh off of these little bone scaffolding that you're really after here.
Ken is gonna recollect literally all of his life up until this point.
Yeah, I mean, let's say Phineas kind of comes up to you, the little kobold ranger, and it's just like, so, what? You don't think you're a Minotaur anymore? I can't do Chris's voice justice, so I'm sorry, Chris.
Well, this is a cool sword.
Literally didn't answer any of my question, but sure. Thank you, Chris.
I don't know if
I'll
you know
take the
me,
floor.
but that's what I'm good at.
Okay. Turns around, plays with Kevin.
I'm just gonna kind of rest because I'm like on death's doorstep.
Esmeralda comes up next to you, Voth. So, I couldn't help but overhear that plan that you discussed with the others. You see, when you come into a land like this, Barovia, there is a darkness that holds many such realms together. This darkness lingers. I think your actions are noble, but could have repercussions you do not intend. Are you sure you want to do this, Voth?
It's not just me that's made the decision. I can hear the voices of the people that make me up. And they're all tired. They want rest. And they think that in doing this and helping this group take down Strahd in this way, that we can fulfill our mission of taking down Strahd that we were originally given. But it's been so long, and it's been so tiring.
I suppose you have already been created out of the darkness. Just know that the dark powers will want their piece for this. Especially people that have darkness in them. They find themselves trapped here forevermore. Just know this before you give your life so easily. Lives?
many lives. It won't be
And she
the
kinda-
first time we give them.
She gives you like a look up and down, like. Ugh. Make me an insight check, Voth. Call it out for chat if you don't mind.
Oh, that is a 19.
You're a little
Righty.
quiet, by the way, Voth.
That is a 19.
Boom. So as you kind of listen to her and you watch her reactions, her body language kind of betrays that she certainly looks at you as a potential threat. She seems to still be always a little bit on guard. She has her hand still on her hilt every single time she gets close to you or speaks to you. And you believe that your undead nature might have something to do with that. So there's a little bit of guardedness. So her advice, you're not 1000% sure whether that is completely out of the kindness of her heart of, hey, don't sacrifice yourself, or more along the lines of, she doesn't trust you fully, just due to the nature of what you are. You get that sense out of that. All right, well, when the time comes and they want to, cut your throat and imbue some kind of magical weapon with that essence of yours, just think about it one more time. All right?
Sure, I'll think about it one more time for you.
Thank
But
you.
I won't be gone. There'll be some of me in that weapon.
I hope so. Seem to be all right. For the most part. Most parts. He gives you a wink and goes back to cutting dead flesh off of skeletons. And yes, that's the thank you so much. Like and subscribe, y'all. As you guys are able to finish this relatively quickly. Are you guys looking to do anything else while you guys are out of your bush?
One quick question.
Go for it.
So all the time that I've spent around Voth, I know that he's like an amalgamation of a bunch of people, but does he seem to have, and when I say jewelry, I don't mean like value, but does he seem to have any keepsake or jewelry or item or anything that he seems to like care about or holds any value to him that is on him?
What I love to do in those situations, Rolak, make me a perception check, and depending on how well that roll goes, Voth, you're going to decide whether he sees something or not. When the player becomes the DM.
13.
13.
It's like just enough to be like not good, but not bad.
You know how when you leave the house or you leave somewhere and you like pat your pockets and make sure you have your cell phone and keys on you and whatnot? You've seen him do that to one of his pockets, but you don't know what's in there.
Copy that.
I know a great time that we can find out.
As you guys invent magical square. Or no, what are those little things called where you can like find your items after? If, like-
God, the Taroka board things.
No, it's like a square or something, like you attach it to your keys and then you can like
Oh
GPS
yeah, that like
locate it.
beeps. Yeah.
But you just do it magically, right?
We're just gonna instead murder him and then rifle his pockets.
Yeah. There you go.
What's more Curse of Strahd than that? That seems on brand. All right, cool.
No, I've got a plan for it, but I wanted to ask that. Okay.
Roger that. All right. So as you guys pack up, and I'm guessing, Knack, as you are able to finish your grisly task, is there anything else that you want to do with that?
So I would like to refer to.
We gotta
some
get
of
Jeff.
my-
We gotta get Jeff.
Oh yeah. We gotta go grab Jeff from the window. He fell out of. Dipshit.
I'll say that Jeff was actually pretty destroyed. Like his bones actually snapped, and as a consequence from falling from that height, he's pretty destroyed at this point. Jeff has been through a lot. So
Jeff has.
there's that.
Typical.
Can I at least get the leather armor and short bow and arrows and all that stuff off him?
Sure thing.
Yeah. So I'll scavenge his body again as I kind of cry a little bit.
Foreshadowing.
Is there any kind of eulogy you want to give for Jeff?
No, he'll be back. He'll be fine. It's just I just whisper, it's just for now. Soon.
As this empty skull socket just kind of looks at you, and you see the cheekbone just kind of drop off with some of the rain clattering against it. Excellent.
Otherwise, I guess I'll put so there's 3 bodies, so I'll put 1 set of bones in my bag. The other 2, I would like to take a moment and try to kind of study what I know, what I've known, what I've learned from my animate the dead spell, and see if there were something else I could add to these bones.
Make me an Arcana check with advantage, since this is your thing.
25.
Ooh, baby. All
I'd
right,
say it's your thing.
you kind of look at that stuff, and you have noticed that there are many creatures here that have more darkness, that seems to be just kind of infused in the very essence. Like, it seems like the physical that you find here is infused with the metaphysical, the darkness, whatever this dark power that one, like that Esmeralda talked about, you kind of overheard with Voth there on the side. She wasn't trying to be quiet or anything. Whatever these dark powers or dark power is, this stuff seems to be truly just like part of the sinew, part of the flesh, part of the bones of all of the different creatures that live here. So you think that if you're able to properly scribe some kind of arcane binding upon the bones themselves, and it will take a little bit longer, but yeah, if you take some time and maybe really hash out that properly, you already have like, there's like some Rain Man kind of stuff going on where you already have like all these necromantic symbols kind of floating around in your head, and as that's happening, you're just like, that could be possible. Maybe if I scribe that into the very bones themselves, you might be able to make the creature that you get out of it more resilient.
So as I'm just staring out 1,000-yard stare as I'm doing these calculations mentally over these bones, a light bulb goes off in my head. I'm like, Eureka! Huzzah!
Prestidigitation. Bring!
Yeah. Little sparkles go off. I'm like, hey, guess what I just figured out?
I'm really hoping it's going to be a faster way to strip these things of all their flesh that doesn't smell.
Nope, that's the way I like it.
Of course it is.
But if we have a minute, I got a way maybe to bring something other than Jeff to our side.
Do you mean like an actual minute, or like should we like just take them and go to town and do this once we get to town?
Yeah, it's probably better that we do that in a safe space.
I'm just meaning, since he keeps talking about, you know, the all the other revenants not necessarily being on our side.
That's a good point.
Just thinking maybe we should post haste, go back to town, and then if you want to play with your bone, you can.
Yeah, I do have a favor to ask though. Could y'all help me carry these? Just two of y'all take a set each.
You want me to put
Yeah.
these sizzling, smelling bones in my bag?
That is correct.
Already on it. I need
Thank you.
instruction.
As I'm already loading one of the sets into my bag, I'm like, yes, please.
Yup. Oh, that's a big old finger. Put
Hey,
it
Finn,
inside
come here.
Kevin's like, damn it, Kevin! Fennon runs after it. Alrighty, you guys load back into the wagon where the Tome of Strahd. You left it outside, or did you bring it with you? I forget.
No, I had it on me.
Okay, so you had it on you.
We only talked about not taking it when we went to dinner with Strahd. We talked about
That's
not taking it then.
Alrighty, cool. So you guys get back into the wagon. stash your various pieces of calcified bones, and get back in as the clinking of the multiple dozens and dozens alchemical vials above you kind of. It's like this haunting bell. You know, what do you call those bone chimes when you walk into a store and it's like,
Oh yeah.
um,
Creepy.
hella creepy. And as you get back in, Esmeralda gets back to the front of the driver's seat, says the command word for the wagon. 2 spectral horses appear at the front of it. As you guys look back upon the 3-story building to your side, there's another large piece of lightning that you guys can see behind it, silhouetting Argynvostholt again. And out of one of the windows, you do see the stern face of Godwin one more time looking down upon you guys. Godfrey. He's just like chin up, watching you guys leave as the wagon lurches into action. And you guys are now riding in the wagon. Knack, do you want to give it a try or not?
Not at the moment. We're gonna try it in town with a little bit of help. Because last time didn't go so well. 2 HP.
You said you said before, David, that we could go with him. Does that mean like one person, multiple people?
It could be multiple people. The challenges will be just different. It becomes a skill challenge, right? So everybody kind of can contribute to it, and you know, it becomes less of a 50-50 chance of success. Well, it's never a 50-50 chance, but you know what I mean. So it becomes a group effort.
Group check instead of single check.
And that means also theoretically one person would be taking the damage from like every single fail, theoretically, or would
Depends
Knack
on
as the
the
reader?
context. Because
Okay.
what is really cool about the tome, it's much more like when we first started playing, right, where it is much more descriptive, and you coming up with ideas. It's kind of like back to 4th edition with the skill challenges, where your ideas and you telling the story with me have that influence, and I'm just kind of there to try to guide how that might end up.
Copy that.
Yeah, on the way back, I'm actually going to be riding in the front with Esmeralda since I'm hunky dory.
Right, and as she rides with you. So necromancy, huh?
Yeah, that's kind of the name of the game.
Evocation, divination, any of the other schools. No, you chose necromancy.
Yeah, those other ones are pretty boring.
Oh, no. Ooh, I see why you ended up in Barovia, that is for sure. Okay, I see the value in it. I will say this. But you do understand, if any of your creations ever go crazy, I will murder them. Well, I guess that's not... I will put them down without any hesitation. We're understood in this.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm cool with that. Just try not to destroy them too much so that I could, reuse them. I'd appreciate that.
No promises on that. I do like to see the undead just...
All right, that's, fair enough.
But I would say this. I like to dabble with magic myself, as you probably have seen at this point. But my magic is much more, how to put this, innate. Van Richten, on the other hand, he was into the books and studying them, much like you are. I do have a couple of spells I don't have much use for. Would you be interested?
You just see me. Absolutely. My book isn't too full right now, and I think we can get all the help we can get.
You see there's still consternation on her face as she takes these beautiful black locks and just kind of like puts them up in a ponytail and just kind of shakes out some of the rain and drenches it out. There are a couple conditions. There might be more conditions. They might be evolving conditions. They all have to do with the undead that are going around. Never against us. Okay, glad we settled that. Again, if I can destroy them for good reason, you're not going to be mad at me? That's settled now?
Yeah, absolutely. If I lose control, let's say, they are no different to me than any other evil creature. So, absolutely, take them down.
Last favor. And you guys are cutting through the Svalich woods. You see all of these kind of like just evil-looking kinds of branches and stuff like that. The woods themselves seem to be almost warped by the existence of the darkness that is constantly surrounding them. Everything is ominous, and at this point, it's almost like, you know, when you walk around a place, let's say you're sightseeing, and there's this effect where, oh, this is amazing, this is amazing, this is amazing, and after a while, it's just like it just wears on you, and it kind of becomes the same dreary thing, right? That is what Barovia has become, where it was really depressing and darkness all over, but now it's just become, yeah, of course, there's a tree that seems to be kind of a representation of my dead mother, right? It's just become like this constant that is just pushing down upon you, and as you kind of look around, there's a weird excitement in you as you look about it. Like, this is, of course, on Mother's Day. When else? And as you look about, you just feel, for the first time since you've stepped foot into this God's forsaken plain realm, whatever it may be, this is your bone box. This is your playground. And there's just like excitement coursing through you. She speaks. I think, yeah, I told you a little bit about why I became Van Richten's protege. Truth is, I owe him a life debt and a favor that I don't think I will ever be easily able to repay. Do you think that you could can bring back the dead? And I mean really bring them back, not just have them walk about you and make some weird moaning noise when you do. What is it? Anyway, I don't want to know. No, get away with these eyebrows. I've seen those before. No, don't individually move them. Stop it. Do you think you could help me bring his son back? And I mean,
this is an extremely complicated matter, right? Souls, when the body perishes, usually go to the realm of whomever they worship, or whatever god they believe in. They go to that plane. Here, if his son died in Barovia, is likely just trapped within this realm, kind of under Strahd's control. His grisly question: is his son's body readily available?
last I know, Richten burned the remains, so Rudolf would know where he kept that. Their bones to be uncovered. You see, me and my cousins, we went out into your realms. We seduced him with sweet promises of glory, power, darkness, to be more than he could ever imagine. So his son came with us. His son became a vassal to Strahd. He became one of his spawn, a vampire. So there was a curse of undeath upon him. When Richten hunted all of us down, killed all of us except for me. I believe you still have of one of my family. Gorolek does. But Rudolf found his son. He did the one thing that he could. Put his own son down. I think Von Richten probably would not want me to try this, which is why I'm speaking to you in the first place. If there is a chance that his son can come back truly come back, escape this prison, happily give my life.
I would have to have a way to be able to find this soul, and his soul would have to be willing to come back to kind of the more earthly plane. That is something that I've been working towards. I want a way for the people of this domain to escape eternal servitude to Strahd, or at least control. A way to, even if they die, they have a way to willingly reunite with their body, and even if it would be undeath, keep their same consciousness.
She kind of
Theoretically,
points
it's possible.
backwards towards the place where you guys are currently riding away from, Argen was told. So didn't you just, wasn't that?
Not the same kind of way. Yes, revenants do that, but it's out of fury, it's out of anger, it's out of angst, teen angst. It's obvious that wasn't a strong enough hold. It can be, but if they did not have that in life, then I can't really reimagine that in death. But a similar way, I have read stories of a necromancer that was able to reunite bodies with souls after they passed, and give them their same life, without the servitude, without the degradation of life. They could theoretically live forever.
Was there no price?
The price was paid in a way. Most of these people died horrendous deaths. And they face constant aggression from the living, obviously, just because they see undeath and they think evil. The price is possibly being called to arms if the person who can reunite them calls them. So there is something hanging over their head. That's possible, but if they trusted that person, then it's completely possible.
The servitude.
They would not be able to deny a command, essentially.
So yes, servitude. What if the person that holds the sway, the control, the command dies? Or no longer exists? We'll say death is relative term to you, yes?
Well, the thought behind that is that the issuer of the command holder would join their ranks, so to speak, in the fact that their soul would be protected.
So who would then control these potentially hordes?
That same commander would.
Even in a
he
death,
would.
you say.
You ever heard of a lich?
Yes?
Yeah. So theoretically, that person could become a lich.
Here we go.
And keep control over that. They would hide away their soul, instead of being technically reunited. So there's a little bit of give there as well.
I heard rumors that there was a lich that once worked for Strahd, which is why I went to the tower. The tower belonged to that lich, but he disappeared. He became lost, it is said, or at least he abandoned the tower. But if he is a servant of Strahd's, I cannot imagine that he was allowed to leave. If he still resides here, he may be in the castle working for him. Maybe you could force him to tell us that secret.
His eyes widen. That is a wonderful idea.
I will tell you this. During my excursion into the castle, I saw many troops there. I was able to sneak by for the most part with the same spell that helped out Dagmar during this fight, but some creatures are able to see through this without any kind of thought. I did see some higher-ranking vampire generals of sorts. Retinue, if you will. This entourage is the one who truly holds the power in the castle. But Strahd is off accomplishing other goals that he might have. I think this is going to be a little bit more complex, just knocking out the top pin. But if this leech is one of them, maybe your goals, the goals of this group, and mine may intersect in that very moment.
I completely agree. I think that taking out a lich is, by definition, a very powerful creature, and if we can maybe not turn him to our side, but bend him to our will, would be a...
They all have one, yes?
They do.
So if we can control that and threaten to destroy it,
it will be very heavily guarded, likely in a very secretive place, because that is the one weakness that every lich has.
Now, Knack, tell me if I'm going too private here, but is that your goal for yourself?
You know, I really like you. You seem like a good person.
Her beautiful features just kind of stretch into this big old smile. So that's a yes. She kind of looks around, her big brown eyes just kind of searching the ground as it whizzes on by as you guys are going through the like very mud-soaked road back towards Valaki. And she just smiles and nods. Careful what you wish for, big guy. You might find yourself stuck here. The dread domains are powerful. The whispers of power that you receive from them I hear and have read are tempting. Is this what you would want? For the rest of your life? Or unlife, I mean.
As a traveled man, orc man.
An orc is a man like any other. People have been mean to you, huh? Who hurt you? I will hurt them too. I can leave this place anytime I want to. Let's go.
Yeah. That list is far too long to give a dissertation on that. However, there have been those who are kind to me. I have seen what can be accomplished in a lifetime, and as one of the short-lived, I don't have all that much time here. I have seen what those with unlimited life have been able to accomplish, and it is both mesmerizing, tempting, some would say abnormal, abominable, but it can be great to affect the changes that I would like to see. I need to accomplish something great. So, yes, the power that I seek, the path that I've taken, leads me down this road.
She just does a big blow out of air as you can tell she's just like this is heavy, and she just goes, right. Can I tell you when you're going too far and that you're out of your mind? You should probably stop. Or are you gonna judge me for that? I can be one of those friends that helps, or one of those friends that just listens.
I don't have any trouble being judged. So
I'm not
you're
talking
more
about
than welcome
judging. This is like true, creative, constructive criticism, right?
I am open to that. I know I don't know everything, and I am searching knowledge along with power. I think that is one of the more admirable things that you can do in your life. So if you have expertise that I'm not in, or knowledge that I don't, and you wish to share your experience with me, I am very open to that. Not saying that I'll do anything you say, but hearing it won't hurt.
Here I thought that Rolak was the one with the silver tongue. She gives you a wink. Alright. I'll stop prying now. You must understand, I just need to know who I'm traveling with. Yes.
Understand.
She hits the reins a little bit harder as the spectral horses kick up a notch, and you guys race back towards Valaki. You guys are unaccosted. However, since you're up front, Knack, make me a perception check.
Natty 1.
Alright, for a total of
2.
You're just mesmerized by Esmeralda. Mesmeralda, as you might call her. The thoughts, everything is just kind of a whirl in your mind. Everything from the fact that she seems to not judge you for the color of your skin, or even the path, the vocational career in the realm of wizardry that you seem to have chosen for yourself, but seems to genuinely ask questions that go beyond that initial judgment, beyond that, oh, necromancy is evil, but rather to, what are your goals with that? What tools are you willing to step towards? And there's, as far as Knack is concerned in the past, how do you think he feels about that?
He's definitely really taken aback. Not taken aback, but unaware of how, you ever see somebody that they get a compliment and they don't know how to react? They're just like,
yeah.
Oh, that's basically that. And that's like, all right, I'm waiting for the screaming to start or the death threats, and this just doesn't happen. He's just like,
she just has a pitchfork that she just and here we go. Yeah.
Here's the torch. And yeah, I'm like, all right, she seems cool. I'm like, all right, I guess I'll hang out with this chick more. She's pretty cool.
Alrighty.
Maybe I'll turn her into a lich.
Oh god. Or gods. But is there anything else that you guys wanted to accomplish? Otherwise, you guys are unaccosted and find yourselves back at the gates of Valaki.
Late afternoon, pulled up. I'm guessing the gate's open.
So we left it, I'm guessing, about 11, because you had said it was early afternoon before we started the fight, or early morning when we started the fight. So I'm guessing between the fight, couple-hour wagon ride, where it's 12, 1-ish, give or take. Is that
no? So the time on Foundry is actually correct. That is the time that you guys are rolling in. Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
So that's
so it is the afternoon.
Mid to late afternoon, yeah.
Cool. Okay. Are they stopping us at the gate, or are they open because it's daytime?
First up, mark off your guys' short rests and get those in.
Okay. Take a rest.
Definitely didn't think this was going to turn into such a beautiful roleplay moment for Knack. That worked out.
I did.
Roll 1.
I'm going to use my arcane recovery.
Did you already use it? No, because you had a long rest before that fight. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So 1. It says I have. Okay, fuck it. Just roll all 5 then.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Well, it won't let me roll a single one. My only options were roll 1 hit dice or roll all 6 of my hit dice.
That's weird.
So
yeah,
I rolled-
we'll have to check in on that in a sec.
I rolled 1.
Mhm.
Uh,
It just shows you how many are available, so maybe that's what you're thinking.
maybe. I know why. Because I have 1 cleric hit dice or paladin hit dice to roll, and I have 5 warlock hit dice.
Yep.
That's why. Okay, so that's 6. Roll another one. Of course, I get a natural 1. Fuck it, roll another one.
Don't forget, you only get half your hit dice back on a long rest.
Well, I'm still horribly fucked up, and we don't plan on stopping, so because we don't want this dude to get away, so we're fucking going all in.
Alrighty.
I got 1 more.
I just rolled 1. Am I supposed to be rolling more than that?
Yeah, you can keep clicking
can.
on it before
Roll
you
as
click
many
like
as you
finish the
want.
long rest.
I'm also going to go ahead and cast my lay on hands on myself.
That's funny.
We're still counted as level 5 right now, correct?
No, you guys are now level 6 officially as you guys
Okay.
are rolling up to Valaki.
Oh, sweet. That means I can get 2 more spells, or another spell.
Ooh. Yeah, by the way, if you guys want to address that really quick as well, what cool things that you guys want to share with stream that you guys pick up?
I'll go first. Cool things I got at level 6 is I got another. My necromancy level gives me a neat little perk that allows me to double my raising power essentially, so I can raise 2 bodies with 1 cast and doubles the amount that I can keep control of. And then I picked up Counterspell and Tasha's Mind Whip.
It's gonna be badass. Rolak, I think big moves for Rolak coming up, right?
Yeah, I hit level 5 warlock, so now I have Thirsting Blade, so I have extra attack. I've got another fun thing that I'll just wait and use later that I picked up as an invocation that I think might actually be pretty useful for how our campaign's been going. And then I finally have Spirit Shroud, so between Thirsting Blade and Spirit Shroud, like I probably over doubled my damage. So yeah, that's nice. Not to mention that also means I have now 3rd level warlock spells instead of 2nd level spells.
Which
is
badass.
awesome.
Gannon, anything that you want to shout out? I think there's one really cool ability you get at 6th level Paladin.
I do. Unfortunately, I am not a 6th level paladin.
Hey, thanks for the follow.
Did you take a dip?
No, it's just I'm still 5. But anyways, I get Nora at 6th level, and it's pretty cool. It's protection, and it does some things for my friends, and that's that. So, yep. Okay. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it was just a small click away. Thanks for pointing that out.
Magical level 6.
It's
Yep. Thank you. I'm there
crazy.
now.
Voth, what about you?
Va gets something very cool. He finally gets his 3rd level spells, which he didn't have because he took a dip of cleric,
Mhm.
and he took haste. So now he can twin cast haste on people, so he can double his damage.
Exactly right. Your damage is the group's damage. You just share.
Exactly.
Alrighty, cool. So as you guys are kind of like delving deeper and kind of like thinking of new formulas, Knack, you're just very invigorated. You climb back into the back of the carriage, and as you guys are riding forth, or start just like wildly scribbling everything from the enhanced undead that you might be able to cast all the way to new spells, and you see those 2 spell scrolls, and we'll touch on that during the break. As you guys are coming up upon the gates of Valaki, the gates are currently closed. You see some individuals walking up at the top of the again, it's just like massive wooden logs that are just rammed into the ground. You see a catwalk that is kind of attached outside. Each of them have a little bit of a 1.5 foot wide gap in there where, you get the sense that the guards are able to use pole arms and the like to kind of like pierce through and strike at attackers. And as you guys are getting closer, you see one of the guards kind of holding up his hand as the rain is coming down on him.
Hey! Who goes there?
It's Sept Imperium. Chill out. We're back.
Make me a perception check, Rolak.
Chill out.
We've only been gone, like, we left it, like, what,
That's true.
we've been gone 1 day, not even a
It's
day.
like
half
10
a day.
p.m.
I mean,
we've
yeah.
been
day and
gone
a
like
half,
18
kinda.
hours.
Yeah. What a difference 18
17.
hours makes. Sorry, 17. As you look
Oh,
up,
it's dead.
what is interesting, you see that there seem to be nervous looks exchanged between a couple of the guards up top. As they go, we'll open momentarily. So, and he kind of comes down the stairs, and as the gate kind of shoots open, you notice that there is a small creature. It has long, leathery wings, kind of like all of these weird spines coming off of it. And the weirdest thing is not just the creature itself, which has like this weird thin snout that goes forward and seems to be relatively small in size. But the fact that the guards see it and kind of like nervously seem to just tolerate it as it kind of seems to keep watching as the wagon rolls in, and Esmeralda kind of goes,
And it's like on the overhang?
just watching you guys roll in, and Esmeralda goes, that's a fucking devil. As in, actual fiend. And as you guys roll into town, that's where we're gonna go and take our break, and you guys are gonna have to figure out, why the fuck is there a little devil watching you guys roll into town? Alrighty, y'all. We'll be back here shortly, hopefully like 35 to 40 after the hour. See you guys very soon. And we are back. All right, so as you guys are approaching Vallaki, there's actually a point that I got to point out really quick. We hit 150 followers. Thank you guys so much. We'll have to think of some kind of a cool reward for that and a cool goal for a follower 200 mark. But we'll get to that maybe at the end of the stream or something like that. But as you guys are getting now into Vallaki, you see again that there's some kind of weird spine just infused devilish creature, disgusting and kind of like pale of skin, almost like slick scales all across it, just like attached to the top of the gate as you guys are coming in. The guards seemingly noticing and tolerating it, even though that seems weird.
Can I try
The
to
other
speak
thing
to it?
Go ahead.
Oh, I apologize. I thought didn't know you. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was going to ask if I could try to speak to the fiend.
What language do you speak to it?
Abyssal.
Alrighty. What do you say in Abyssal? Let's start on ground zero. This is gonna be fun.
Well, okay. So, in full transparency here, there was an RP reason. It has never come up, so I won't even get into it. Why I took that, I'm not gonna lie. When I took it at the time, I didn't ever think it would have any relevance whatsoever to this campaign. But who knows? Maybe it will right here. So I'm just gonna kind of like, as we're kind of, because we're rolling, right? We're just kind of like a slow roll. I'm just gonna kind of like look up and be like, how long have you been here?
All right. So the rest of you guys, whether you're poking kind of out of some of the windows of the wagon, or kind of like poking out that little separator between the front of the driver's seat and the back of it, or hanging out of it, you suddenly hear like a going up at this weird fiendish creature up top, as the thing immediately bristles up, and you see all of the spines just standing on end. Make me a history or religion check, Rolak.
21.
Okay, you know, since you are fluent in Abyssal, that whatever means you may have come about that, and follow-up questions may ensue from your fellow comrades about this, that Abyssal is spoken by demons, whereas devils speak infernal. Now, there's an entire thing called the Blood War. He got a 21. Amazing. So, you know that the Blood War is this eternal war that is fought between devils and demons in a never-ending massive clash.
I got those languages backwards. I know about the Blood War.
Exactly, right? So there's that, as you know, Drake knows that. Rolak just kind of like, that's fiendish. That's fiend adjacent enough.
That's what Rolak thought.
But not until after you say that out loud that you go, oh, that might not be good. As the thing is just starts to bristle up. And all of the guards kind of go like, whoa. And you see them actually lower their lances and kind of like hold it up, or not lances, but pikes, and kind of like hold it up against the creature for a second. As it launches itself upward, flying incredibly quickly through the sky, taking quick dodges left and right, and then just disappears into the buildings.
Well, that was fun.
The fuck was that?
I just said hi. Basically.
What do you mean you said hi?
I tried to ask it how long it's been here. I was trying to break the ice, but apparently we
In
didn't.
what language?
Abyssal.
Okay, do I know the difference?
Sure, make me a history or religion check. Why not? 18?
18.
You do. You do know the difference. Uh-huh.
Let me get this straight. You
Okay.
just spoke Abyssal
Yep.
to a devil.
Yep. That's what they speak.
No, it's not.
What do they speak?
They speak fiendish. You spoke Abyssal to a devil, which you can do. They're different. They're mortal enemies. So you basically just said, hey, I'm your mortal enemy. What are you doing here? And he's probably like, oh, let me go tell Dad.
Well, just trying to make friends.
Maybe less of that.
Oh, would you have preferred me Eldritch Blast him?
I would have preferred you maybe just said it in common. Maybe he would have understood you.
I was trying to be an equal opportunist. My bad.
What
you guys
did
are going-
you say?
Go ahead again.
What did you say to him specifically?
I said, "How long have you been here?" I was just trying to break the ice. He got real pissed. Apparently, I spoke the wrong dialect. My bad.
You know, I actually speak Infernal, so next time we run into him, let me be the one that says hi.
There you go. Problem solved.
Did
See?
he, Voth, did you hear him say anything on his leave?
Did I, DM?
Sorry, say that one more time.
Did I hear anything?
Oh yeah. No, all of this shit is absolutely within audible distance to all of you guys.
No, he's mean. Did you hear that fiend say anything?
Like as it was leaving. So
What
I
languages
speak
do you speak, Voth?
I speak Infernal.
Okay.
And,
No, it actually literally just hissed. It was more like a guttural response to the language being spoken at it, rather than saying anything. So there was no like plot element, and then it flew away. It was literally just like this weird intrinsic reaction, and then it just fluttered off.
so I look at Gannon and I'll say, he didn't really say anything. He just kind of emoted a lot of disgust at Rolak.
A lot of
Disgust.
Yeah, I think Rolex, he's kind of used to that.
It happens
He has that effect on people.
sometimes, especially paladins and their dragons.
oh, too soon.
Ew.
Too soon.
For
For some of the new watchers, there was a
Yes.
PvP between the streams, and oh, it was brutal.
that's pretty savage.
Ooh, that would hurt. That would hurt so good.
All right.
Alrighty. So, as you
Let's
guys
head to the inn.
go forward, one of the guards actually does come up towards you guys. And interestingly enough, you see most of the guards don't have any kind of special regalia. They have these dirty brown-gray cloaks that they wear, and, overall, they seem to just have kind of like put armor together that works. It would be more accurate to call them a militia rather than a true guard, right? However, some of them are wearing little pins, little very simple iron pins that are just rammed through and kind of poked where the cloaks are attached. And you see there seems to be some kind of like 7-pointed, almost like a crown that is embossed into that, which you guys remember Hoyt mentioning is the symbol that he chose for Sept Imperium. As he jogs up towards you guys.
Master Olak, yes.
Yes.
And he kind of like starts walking with the wagon as you guys are going deeper and deeper into that.
Master Hoyt has been working all night on.
And he kind of tings the little symbol there.
But just know that those that wear it are under constant watch. Like what you just saw. These creatures have started appearing after you left. And as soon as Master Hoyt approached the mansion, they seem to be watching everywhere. We have counted at least a dozen of them. Reports of some that go unseen. Devils are within Vallaki now that Valakovich has...
And why have we not run them out of town? Or killed them?
He kind of wipes some of the rain away.
They seem to be reporting to Lady Fiona Wachter. She is...
The bitch
Powerful.
that likes Strahd?
yes. The problem is, after what Strahd did in the courtyard, with the militia now weaker, and with you gone, well, nobody wanted to step up to this. Now these creatures are watching us constantly. The members of... I don't know what to call them, but cults maybe, going around with masks. They are going from house to house asking whether the people that are still in Vallaki support either Sept Imperium or Lady Wachter. They're taking a census. Most
How
people
many-
are trying to not answer or be out of the house at this time, but things are getting bad.
Okay. How many guard do we have that are with us?
Or,
4.
yes. Master Hoyt gave good speech, but he was kind of undercut by Strahd, so it's been hard to get more people to
I
join
just want to make sure I
ranks.
understand this. The whole town, we have 4 guards. Okay. How many guards are left alive?
20?
Great. We have 20% of the guard. Great. Okay. Okay. The 4 guards, including yourself, I need an honest assessment. Are you townspeople that are guards, or are you actually soldiers?
The pause kind of tells you everything that you need to know.
Copy that.
I mean,
Okay. It's
we-
okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Look, we were guards at the mansion before. When Valakovich hung himself and then his wife too, we
He
did
hung,
not
hold
know.
on. He what?
Oh yeah, forgot you were gone. Yes, Valakovich hung himself. He's no longer here with us. His wife, when she found the body, slit her own wrists and her blood soaked the floor. Only Victor remains now, but he says he has no interest in running the town, so he was happy to back Hoyt in becoming the de facto leader of everything, so...
Okay. He was in charge of the town's silver and arms. Is that under our control now, or where is that?
We
Where does that
were
stand?
able to get some of that secured, but Lady Wachter moved fast. I'm sorry.
This bitch.
Okay. All right. So the stuff that has been secured, where have you secured it?
In the house, the mansion.
Okay, so we control the mansion?
Yes, that's where Master Hoyt is currently, with Viktor Valakovich, as well as the other 3 soldiers.
Okay. Are we by the town center, like where the stockades were?
Yeah, and you guys would actually were kind of like stopped so that he didn't have to like just run across with you guys.
Yeah.
So you're just a little ways into it. But yeah, you guys could certainly
Is
like
anybody still in the stockades?
yes, there are.
Okay,
about
so
half a
first
dozen
order
people.
of business. All the people that were in the stockade, the 6 people, 6, I'm assuming half a dozen. What are these people in the stockades for? Not being happy?
No, that has stopped. Everyone who was in the stockade during the festival was let go. These are people who have been put there as an example by Lady Wachter.
Oh, she put them there.
Yes.
Release them all immediately. Okay,
And you
I'll
see-
do
I'll
it.
do it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get down. I'm gonna walk over because I'm assuming are they locked, or is it just like a wooden pin?
no, it is locked. It actually has like metal
Great.
locks.
I'm gonna walk
on
up to each one of them. I'm gonna pull out I'm gonna summon my pack weapon to my hand, and I'm just gonna take the pommel and I'm gonna smash a lock, open one. Walk to the next one, smash a lock, open the next one.
As the shadowy magic kind of hits that iron, it cuts a little bit. As all the people look at you fearfully, make me an insight check, Rolak. And I think Gannon, were you gonna say something?
He's just backing him up, covering him as he does it.
Okay.
I rolled a 24.
Very nice. So as you look around, you kind of peer into everyone's eyes. And as you do, you see that there is fear. Elation, certainly. But all of the people in the stockade seem to also be worried about the consequences of being let go, rather than being made an example. As you cut the first one off, he just kind of lifts up the thing, rubs his hands and neck. You see he wants to say thank you, but he just
Don't need to say anything. Go home.
naked feet just run through the street. The plaster stones just splattering up with the rainwater.
So basically, as we're uncuffing them all, we're going to say, don't say a word, just go home. Don't have any fear. She's not going to be mad at you that escaped. She's going to be mad at me for letting you out.
So you guys are walking through the stockade there with the rain pouring down. You guys are cutting one person after another, men and women, out of these bindings. All of you guys make me a perception check.
4.
Natty 1.
For a total of?
7. It's still a natural one.
It's not an attack roll, so you can't critically fail technically.
15.
Alrighty. Both and Ganon, you both notice while Rolak is obviously busy cutting away at that stuff, and Knack actually kind of just stayed at the wagon to keep writing, we'll say, arcane things on scrolls and the like, and he's just like,
Mad scientist.
there's like the eyes coming in and out as he's looking at 2 new scrolls. The two no, that's trademarked. I can't use that. You two notice though that there seems to be an individual standing off to the side, currently smoking a pipe as the smoke lazily kind of pierces up and around the cowl that is hiding their face. You see tight-fitting leather armor and some conspicuously placed daggers all along their frame. As they just blow the smoke out, clear out the ash against that as you're still busy with like the second to last thing, and just start walking away.
I'm gonna run up.
I'm gonna follow him.
All right, you guys just run off really quick. Knack is just like keeps riding. Keeps
That'll
riding.
be
Rolak, you're
fine.
busy cutting out people out of that stuff. And as you guys get there, you round the corner and the individual is just gone.
Did you see that?
Yeah, that shady guy with the daggers.
He was smoking something.
I think it was a go-gurt.
Jeez.
It's been a while since I had one of those, my friend.
Sorry, that's an inside joke. Yeah, he was definitely smoking a pipe and strapped with a lot of daggers.
What do you think there was?
I don't know.
Besides sugar.
I mean, if I had to take a guess, that's usually how assassins look.
All right, can I inspect further? At least, did he go like down an alley, or they?
Yeah, it's kind of like that. So you're in the center square, right? And you ran up to one of the main houses there, and it was definitely in between the houses that they disappeared. And as you look around, yeah, go ahead and make me another perception check as you're trying to look for any kind of clue. What you get?
Sorry, 19 with +2, 21.
Awesome. You look around and suddenly there's a pipe that appears in Ganon's thing, and there's just like Go-Gurt spurting out of it all over his face. It's just everywhere as a little Sherlock hat just appears.
Strawberry, it's the worst.
But really, so as you step around and the water's just clanging off of your armor and you kind of look around, you don't notice anything much in terms of steps. You actually see a single very light, what is just on the ball of the foot print in the dirt that has turned into mud, leading up into the side of a wall, kind of like a half wall that separates the back part of a house. Seems to have stepped there and then vaulted over it. However, what is more interesting is part of that half wall. It's weird. It makes no sense. As the water's coming down, you see it prattling and then splashing against the tops of some of the wall there, but then there's just a point of it that just stops, almost like there is nothing keeping the rain out. As you look up at that spot, it's almost like there's something that you can't see that is keeping the rain from touching down upon the rock. Make me a religion check. And
12.
do you point this out to Voth? Voth, also make me a religion check. Those int boys.
Oh, 16.
All right.
13 minus 2.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. As Ganon, you kind of go point towards this, like, doesn't make any sense. Voth, you look up at that, and having had that conversation about fiends, the blood war, devils versus demons and the like, you do know another winged creature of the fiendish subtype, specifically a devil, and that some of them are able to turn themselves invisible at will. Those creatures are called imps. And you're fairly certain that weird, it's kind of like in Halo back in the day with the elites, where it's just like you can kind of tell that there's something, but not really. Because of the rain kind of running around this creature's form, you do seem to see some kind of like wings that are folded back and a little head that seems to be turned towards you guys. And in the back of it, you see like almost like a little floating, it seems like a tail that has some kind of a stinger at the end of it. Barely. And that confirms to you there must be an invisible imp currently watching you guys.
I'm going to look at Ganon. I'm going to say, you ready to catch something?
Hey man, that no rain up there, that's pretty weird, so yeah.
All right. And I'm going to cast command on the imp. And I'm going to say, to the ground.
Alrighty, go
And
ahead and cast it.
I want Ganon to like grapple him when he gets there on the ground.
Alright, so,
As in,
well,
like,
you tell him to do that, the grapple thing?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Are you ready to catch?
Roger, roger.
So that you know when he comes down.
Wait, no, I killed
Keep
him.
in mind, like, y'all are, I mean, you're not out of shouting distance from us, but you're not next to us.
You guys
Oh,
do hear like
split
this, to the ground! Or just down. I think command has to be a single word, right? So you say something like grovel or down, right? In the direction of what you believe to be the imp. And as you say that, there's just like a as its wings kind of flap upward and away, dodging behind the wall and out of sight. As the energy goes by, you just get the feeling that it was almost like your magic was impeded trying to hit the creature. In mechanical terms, you get the sense this creature has magic resistance.
I'll look at Ganon and say, he got away. He's a tough one. Slippery with magic. Won't be hard to get. Won't be easy to get.
You kind of hear as the creature flies off. Knack, there's just like a single drop of water that ruins the rune that you had just been working on as you hear that exact same sound. Rolak, you cut off the last person. You cut the last person to death. That is in the stockade. You cut the last person out of the stockade as they just kind of wring their hands. And this one you actually recognize. This was the altar boy, Miloy, that was working at St. Andrew's Church.
Oh, yeah.
As he just looks at you and goes, "They have the bones." His kind of like mid-part black hair is just completely matted to him. He's a pretty strong looking, broad-shouldered, about 6 foot tall human male. And as he just looks at you, he goes, "They have the bones. That is why the church could be attacked. It's my fault. The bones." And he kind of like looks over his shoulder to, from his perspective, make sure that nobody's watching, is just whispering towards you. "Where do they keep them now? I think the coffin maker might know." And then he kind of backs up and then goes and just pushes you on the chest. "Fuck you! Sept Imperium will absolutely not take over this town. You are charlatans." Make me a deception check with advantage as you guys are both doing this together. Need a gift of that too.
Two nines. I rolled 14.
Okay. You guys do a pretty believable job kind of doing that stuff as you kind of like just whack him behind that as he walks back towards the church. He kind of flips you the bird as he walks away. But there's kind of like thoughts reeling in your mind. Make me a religion check, Roller. Knack is just like, those are my rolls, boys. Those rolls that you guys are rolling, those are my rolls usually.
3.
You're like,
welcome.
Bones. I guess that'll be good for Knack as you walk back towards the wagon. Voth, Ganon, you guys kind of look around. You kind of look over the wall, and there are no more signs behind that, which is weird. And you're just like, what the hell is going on here? As you guys ultimately turn back around, back towards the wagon.
Yeah, I'm gonna whistle for him to kind of come.
Don't move.
Then I'm gonna leave Ganon.
And that was the end of Ganon. All right, everybody, that was super fun. We'll see you guys next week, minus Ganon.
Not forever.
Not
I've had a great time, man. I just want to go. I just want to say that, like, the road I have to be on. If he turns around, just don't. He comes up and be like, "Don't whistle."
You don't like whistling?
I used to be a minotaur.
Oh my god, now we have this? You weren't. You had a fucking curse on you.
You wanted this.
I don't even know what that means. And I'm gonna like turn around and like walk towards the wagon.
Ganon's gonna whistle.
Alright. I'm gonna walk over to the guard. How many of these fiend devil things have you seen? If you had to just give me an estimate.
Maybe 3, 4.
Okay.
But I think there are more in the town. Everybody's
fine.
whispering.
I'm gonna walk up to them as they're talking because I hear them, and I'm gonna say it's not how many they can see; it's also how many they can't see. There's invisible imps around. We just saw, well, didn't see one, but we tried to catch one in the alley over there. There was also a shady guy with daggers and a pipe, and I'll ask the town guard if he knows anything about that guy.
As you give the description, let me look at my notes.
Leather cowl, big pipe.
Yeah, I think he's called
Lord of Edge. No. He says,
This is Ernst Larnak. He's Lady Vachtar's spy.
Okay. Is Erwin and the inn and everything all right over there?
Everything should be good, yes. Last we checked. Plus, he says he can take care of himself. We told him we can make sure he's safe, but he says he's fine.
He's capable. Let's head to the manor.
Right. Do you want me to come with you for protection? I was staying
Why
at
don't-
gate to see what happens in town.
Do you feel safe at the gate?
Truth be
Why don't
told,
you-
no.
Then why don't you come with us? There are guards at the gate. They're just not on. They're going to protect the city from Strahd's monsters, but they're not going to protect you. Correct?
I don't know if they will, but I would feel better with you there. Certainly.
as he starts walking, and you guys make your way back towards the manor. As you guys get there, you see a couple more guards standing outside. Actually, pretty familiar guards. And as you guys are getting closer, you see 2 more of those little pins on them.
We've almost gathered our full force.
Yeah.
All right.
What
as you
they
guys-
don't know is we don't give a fuck about this town.
No, but you know. All right, you guys get in, and you see where before, again, you walk into the entry hall. You see frame portraits that adorn everything in this grand foyer, which includes a white staircase with sculpted railing. A long carpeted hall attached to the foyer stretches almost the length of the mansion and has several different doors leading away from it, including one at the very far end. And as you're walking in, the guards just kind of nod. The guard behind you guys opens the door for you and lets you in.
He says, please, Boyd says that he has been preparing the study. He has been taking all of the silverware. I'm not sure what for, but please.
Oh god, he finally got his wish. He got to steal his own silverware.
You know what's funny? Jason didn't even request that. It's just like that's just Hoyt.
Yep, that would be what he would do.
I honestly was when he first went out with the baby, and that was like right when Strahd wanted us to go to dinner. I was like, "This is so perfect. We won't get murdered by Strahd because his dumbass won't try to steal Strahd's silverware at dinner." Because I was like, if we wait for him to come back, he's going to try to take a butter knife, and Strahd's going to stab him with it. Like, oh god, that's funny. Okay, so where is Hoyt?
In the study.
And he points towards the room that leads to the study, the den.
Okay.
You guys all walk into the room, and again, as a description, you see there are padded chairs and couches that line the walls of this cozy, carpeted den. The room reeks of pipe smoke, and mounted to the east wall is the head of an angry-looking brown bear. However, not only do you see Hoyt in here, but in one of those nice padded chairs is a very tall, broad-shouldered young man. You see the same kind of hair, but much more full, not as kind of receding as it was, dark as it is, kind of like combed back. But you see where he is tall and broad, there seems to be no calluses upon his hands. He's wearing these kind of like riding clothes, but actually has a robe draped over his shoulders, and it is unmistakable that this must be a family member of the Valakovich family. And with the context that you guys have, you're pretty sure this must be Victor. As Hoyt just goes,
Well, it took you all long enough. Welcome back. This is Victor Valakovich here. I'm kind of picking up the accent a little bit, but make yourself comfortable, Victor. You don't mind, eh?
as Victor just goes,
No, not at all. Please.
and he kind of stands up as he takes this little lacquered wooden box and sets it down. He opens it up, and you see all of this beautiful smelling pipe tobacco as he kind of sorts it out a little bit. Any of you, there's a gauntness to his features that are not completely unlike his father's, but he wears it well. Maybe it is just the age that he has, or maybe there is a certain je ne sais quoi, something that Knack, you have seen before. Make me an insight check. This is just Knack.
5.
He just reminds you of a younger you.
Hey.
And-
me.
And indeed, his eyes do not leave yours as you kind of walk in. He kind of like looks around for a little second at everyone else. Overall, he seems to be boring into you with incredibly intelligent eyes.
Would you like to smoke a little?
Sure.
Anyone else?
Absolutely.
Oh, don't mind the lad. He's just a little weird around the edges, but he's all pretty good. He likes the same kind of magic stuff that you're into, Nock. Yes. With my father now finally gone, I would like to discuss arcane studies with you, if you would be so inclined.
I would. Do you happen to have a library of arcane studies?
I do, and there is a book that I have dedicated much of my adult life to deciphering, out of the view of my father, of course.
Probably smart. Yeah. Or,
He was delusional, but you are. You reek of power, the thing that we truly need to defeat Strahd. You are welcome to stay in my mansion for as long as you need.
Go
I
ahead,
just
Gannon.
wanted to say I'm sorry for your loss.
I am not, so please do not apologize.
Okay, well, if we're being honest, I didn't really like him.
Neither did I. You're a good man for being able to figure that out, at least up here.
Hoyt, you mind telling me why we have 4 out of 20?
Alright, so first of all, I mean, I'm a crafter. I don't really do the whole, like, talking to people. It was a lot of practice. I did a lot of light plagiarizing. It was, in context made a lot of sense, but...
You see the dwarf kind of starting to sweat a little bit. The armor kind of...
But I've got some good news too. Erwin helped me out, and, I'll be right back.
As he races out of the room. Victor just kind of
You want
like...
to know what he's been doing this whole time? I can tell you. He's been working on his fucking armor while all the guards have been just running loose.
Yeah.
It is not so simple, you see. The problem is that Fiona has many lackeys all throughout Vallaki, and she seems to have powers that go beyond anything that many have seen before. Now she has devils spying on people, making sure that when things are said, people will suffer.
Yeah.
Do you happen to have a list of these informants, ne'er-do-wells? Just curious.
And
I
there's
know
just
they're
like...
masked up, but
There's like a predatory kind of thin smile that stretches across his cheek.
Of course I do.
good man.
Okay, well, before we start kicking down doors, if you had to give an estimation, how many people do you think that she has at her humble abode that she has the ability to rally?
Well, there are those that partake in the profane practices that she does. She's able to summon forth these fiends from the hells, something that she must have been taught by Strahd, no doubt. But I think that the cultists, as well as the guards that she has now under control, well, we would probably face at least a dozen, if not 2. Depends on how unseen we can strike.
Okay. How well do you know her residence?
Somewhat.
Or the grounds around it, at least?
Enough. It is a nice building. But I was not allowed to go everywhere I wished. Most often her daughter came here for the courting. You see, at one time, she was trying to marry her to me. But she has disappeared. Has been gone for maybe 3 months now. Nobody has seen her. I'm guessing she's dead. She
Oh,
was not my type.
It's one family member we don't have to kill.
You don't have to worry about the brothers. They are useless.
Yeah, we met them.
Dogs without teeth.
Question. Her presence was felt the moment we left.
Yes, it seemed like she was poised to strike after Strahd did his appearing act. It is reasonable to assume that she knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at.
Yes.
I'm just going to kind of turn to the group and go, well, it looks like we have 2 paths.
Go after the head or go after the feet?
Well, I think it's a little more complicated than just that. What do you know of Kresk and an abbey?
Hmm. Well.
Like the Netflix show?
From what I know, there is someone who pretends to be a bishop of sorts. Some believe that he is Saint Markovia come back to life. I know that the Markov family, well, goes back into the time of the Markoviches. So maybe Urwin would have more answers on this. Markovia was rumored to be a powerful priestess during the time when Strahd first took these lands, but there are no records. Others say that she was an adventurer that came in much like you, and rallied the troops, much like the Mad Mage did. Now, whether that is truth or fiction, I do not know. I know that the people of Kresk are probably the least impacted by Strahd's predilections. I believe that they willingly give up sacrifices during the cullings to appease him. The geographical distance from Kresk to the castle helps them in this. But I believe that this bishop to be a charlatan at best.
How big of a town is it in comparison to Vallaki? Is it similar? Is it smaller?
It is similar
bigger?
in size. The defenses are not as good, but they do have a wall. They are built in tiers leading up to the actual abbey of St. Markovia.
Oh, so it's like there's an outer perimeter and then an inner perimeter and then potentially like the abbey, if you will.
Indeed.
Would they, if we were to visit, would they welcome us or would they shun us because we're outsiders?
Vallaki has the better force. If you were emissaries from Vallaki, I'm sure they would be fine. Now, I don't know what the situation is there politically. I don't know what Fiona has been doing to meddle there. But my guess is that there's a chance you'll be able to get in at least. I know the people there are even worse staffed than this house. So be careful.
Would you be willing to, you talked about us being an emissary. Would you be willing to write us a letter saying that we are an emissary?
Of course.
And, are now the acting burgomeisters of here?
I have no problem.
If you wouldn't, we've got a couple decisions to make, and we're probably going to be leaving post haste. If you would be as kind to maybe go ahead and jot that down and put your seal on it, we've got to decide which way in this bend we'd like to go.
Sure. Is
Thank
there
you,
any
sir.
help that I can offer?
Potentially. We're going to deal with this with these fiends. When the time comes for us to deal with them, will you stand with us?
I will. What I ask is, he looks towards Knack, for a mentor. I have sought power, ways to reach beyond this damnable veil of the land that I live in. And I have not found a master willing or powerful enough to help me with this.
Well, I can't speak for him. I'm going to turn to Knack.
I'm just standing there stoically, like, Your mind is young and sharp. You would be a most worthy student.
You need to know one thing before I do this. My father's saying, all will be well. What did you think about it?
I think that was his hope, and that what he dreamed it could be. but his folly was in how we were going to get there. We can't get there with happy thoughts and positive attitudes. We have to get there by fighting. We have to get there through blood, sweat, tears. We have to get there through sacrifice.
Pretty long-winded for just saying it was bullshit, but at least you're well-spoken. I think we will get along.
Yes, you'll find I am very long-winded.
Some stuff that I would like my new mentor to look at with me. Would you mind if I...
And he motions towards the door.
Would you like to come with me? Would the rest of you mind?
We can talk. Knack, we'll here. Why don't you go with him? We'll figure out what our next step are, and then we'll. You guys are just going to be in the other room, I'm assuming.
We'll be in the house somewhere, I'm sure.
We'll be in a safe spot within the library. If you need us, just send one of the guards. Yes.
Before you go, if you think he's long-winded now, just don't give him any milk.
Oh my god.
And he kind of just looks at you.
Understood. I guess. I don't know if I understand, but you'll have to explain that one for me.
Give him milk and you'll find out.
Victor, my friend. Are you ever gonna finish those smoke rolls, man? I've been waiting here for like... You never gave me one. I've just...
He looks over towards you, Knack, for a second.
Simplistic, man.
I see what you do. And he finishes the pipe and just hands it towards you, again.
Here you go, my friend. Enjoy.
Thank you. Appreciate it. It's been a long day. You can't imagine. Do you have time? I would love to tell you, but no. All right, you go do your thing with Knack. I got. Don't worry about me.
As I'm like walking out there, I'll be like, just as an aside, I'll be like, hey guys, just so you know, in my bag, I still have that dust of disappearance, so that actually might help with infiltrating the banner. Just thought I'd throw that in.
Yeah, I got a little something too.
Toy.
As they walk out of the door, close the door behind themselves, almost immediately after, just long enough that he absolutely missed where Knack went. He's just like,
boys, look at that!
and he has this beautifully recrafted full plate armor in his hand. As he's like,
where you go?
They're doing something. That's for Ganon, right? You were fixing that for Ganon.
I mean, that's a nice sword you got there.
I was just hoping that Jason was watching it. I wanted to fuck with him.
Yeah.
It is actually on that. Can you see if it has any magical properties?
Oh, Jimmy, look how beautiful it is.
and you see where kind of like there was this raven crest carved into the front piece of the chest piece. It was actually very beautifully kind of welded over, and then the multiple peak symbol of Sept Imperium put in there with some gold inlay as well. It's pretty spiffy. However,
Nice.
around it you see a sunburst that is very reminiscent of the Morning Lord. So it seems like he has kind of like put a religious tinge on it too. His Knack and Roll both go. I'm just kidding. But he sets it off into the corner as he just goes off in the corner with the sword as well.
Why
So,
is he
All
not
right, let's look
wearing
at
it?
this.
Why is he not wearing it? Why are you not wearing it, Hoyt?
Well, I had this whole reveal planned, but then you guys took too long, and then I took it back down, and then I had to bring it back from the shop, and I wanted to look nice and in, and had a whole speech prepared. Anyway, let me find
That
out what this
sounds
sword
appropriate.
does.
He's nailing Jason.
Yep, that sounds very appropriate. All right, tell us about the sword.
Do you guys want to discuss anything? That's going to take him like 11 minutes to identify if you guys want to chit chat until that happens. Or are you guys going to quietly sit there while he's just like mumbling to himself of rituals?
One question would be like, what have you been doing?
Well, I mean, I was thinking that too, but we've actually only been gone 18 hours.
I
We
know.
probably slept fucking 10 of
Yeah.
them. So, like, realistically, it's been 8 hours.
It was a coup. It was a very
Yeah, so you had
strategic
two
coup.
people vying for power. He, in my opinion, if he was able to retain 4 guards, some of the supplies, you know what I mean? He actually didn't do too shabby, because I thought the same thing when we got to town. I was like, motherfucker. And yes, I 100% Sal, by the way, was like a Spartan being like, what is your profession? But I think the only thing that we need to talk about, that I was going to say as he's doing that, is I was going to look over at Sal and I guess everybody, because Dagmar and Phineas is technically here, is I was going to just look over them and go, so I'm just going to give my thoughts briefly. I think that we have two paths. Zachiel has clearly fled to this charlatan, as he put it, who we know is taking innocents and turning them into revenants, zombies, or God knows what else. And now that he has two incredibly powerful items, and we know he has the Amulet of Ravenkind, which we desperately need to get back, and he has this Sun Sword. We clearly need to catch up with him before we lose his trail again. As I say that, I do fear that we now have two ticking clocks. Before, we had one in the sense of, I don't care about the third one. We had one in the sense of Strahd's dinner invitation. Now we have a second, clearly, as in, if we leave, I feel that the power struggle that is maybe a 50-50, 60-40 split in this town will begin to just sway even more for her. I think we should talk to Erwin regardless, because he has information on Kresk. I remember from him saying before, it was about this, when we were supposed to take Arena there at the beginning, it's about the same distance, so I'm guessing with Esmeralda's magical, horses, we could be there in a few hours, but best case scenario, we go a few hours and we're back by next morning. We've seen what can happen in one day's time. One more day, things could be twice as dire here. I don't know. What, Sal, I'm sorry, Voth, Ganon, what do you think?
I think that depends on how much you care about this town and its people, and whether you're willing to sacrifice them to get the tools you'll need to fight Strahd, or whether you think saving them might gain you an edge in the fight against Strahd.
Ganon, before I answer that, I want to see what Ganon thinks before I don't want to jade his opinion.
Well, I got enough to think over, my man. I'm gonna tell you what. If we need to save some people to have something that can better fight this evil, why not?
So you think saving these people will be a resource? Is that what you're getting at?
If you're playing quotas, yeah, I think so.
So your vote would be to save the people here and then hope the trail doesn't go cold on Zachiel?
If you're thinking long game, it could be a better plan.
Mine is a little more cynical. These people are not combatants. These people are cannon fodder. If we ask for their assistance, regardless, take the other part out of the equation. If we ask these people for their assistance in fighting Strahd, they will die. And the only thing they could do for us is die. Even if we had all of the town's guard and all the town's watch, I don't believe that they would be able to make a significant impacted battle. The best thing that they could do would be to draw some forces out and away from us. and to be slaughtered. Now, that is a resource. It's a cynical resource. It's not a nice resource. But
there is one other consideration. If we don't save them, who knows what this lady will do with the
that's
resources
where
she
I
can
was
get
about
from
to go.
here. As well as we stop her here, she won't be a bigger threat later.
That, as I was saying that, you and I's brain was going to the same place. From just a pure tactical positioning, eliminating Zachiel, eliminating this person creating this undead, and gaining 2 items that we need to defeat Strahd is more valuable than all of these people's lives. But eliminating an agent of Strahd and keeping an entire town that could be turned into God knows what takes that scale, and I believe, in my opinion, rebalances it. I think that we have to deal, like, Strahd is going to have to wait. Dinner will have to wait. We'll have to take a rain check. It rains every day here anyway, so it's appropriate. I think we deal with this lady fast and hard. I think we stealth in as quickly and as quietly as we can. And in a perfect world, we can get to her. I do believe this is a situation where if we can cut the head off the snake, the body will wither. You know, the fiends, if they are truly summoned by her, they should disappear. They should. They're tethered to this plane. Should go. Now, on the flip side, we don't, and we could be in the middle of there fighting 12 to 24 people, which will be a Tuesday for us. And Tuesdays hurt, by the way. But
You also get tacos, though.
you do. My initial thought is, how hurt are you? Do you guys have any spell slots left? Do you have any magic left? Are you pretty tapped?
I'm out of my strongest magic. I have some of my weakest, and I still have most of my middling magic.
Agmar just kind of puts up her hands, goes, not looking so good if you want to be alive. But if you don't care, she points at Nag.
DTF raw.
Yeah. Shit. Well, I don't think we have a choice. I think that it's 4:30 in the afternoon. It's about midday. I was just looking at the time, trying to see what time it was. So it's about midday. I think that the only thing we can do at this point is, what if we do this? What if we rest now? We don't wait till night. We rest now, which means we all should be rejuvenated and feel good in the dead of night. It's always dark here, but it will be the dead of night. Then, during the dead of night, we make our stealth attack. Thoughts?
I think that might be a little harder than you anticipate. She does have hidden imps most likely guarding any entrance. And unless that's dealt with, you might be seen.
Are we so we do have an item that can help with that, but then the other element to that, right now, are we in dim light, or are we in like normal light? What are we in, David?
It feels like normal light, it's just not sunlight. With the rain coming down and stuff like that, it has been relatively normal light, but not fully dim light. But
Okay.
you think especially like around sunset, flip flop.
Yeah. So as far as us infiltrating and not even having to use that dust, I can become completely invisible now, as long as I am not in direct light. So, as far as us trying to like scout ahead and moving ahead, I can stay completely invisible and have an idea. So, AKA, our little impies won't see me. Now, for the rest of the group, yes, they would see me, but
Finn says,
I mean, I'd love to just go pew 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 pew. But I mean, I really want to kill Zach. I mean, I'm still a fan of that plan. But I guess if we're gonna go and save people for whatever reason, then maybe we can just there's pass without a trace.
yeah.
Sorry, I hope that's a 6, Chris.
I think that's our best bet. We use pass without a trace. I'll stay in the front, invisible, to try to scout the best I can, right at the max that I can get away from him. Without leaving the aura of his spell, and we do that. I agree with Finn. I have a conversation I'd like to have with Zach Gill as well, but if he flies away again, he flies away again.
You feel your insides rumble as Nax sends a thought through the ether.
This pigeon just rams into the glass and just destroys its head, and then there's this written in blood. No, we'll say that instead of me playing Dagmar says something.
I have detect magic, so I might be able to pinpoint the aggressors, the invisible ones.
Okay, that's helpful too. Oh, I have something for that too. From before, when I was a paladin, I actually can just use divine sense, so I could scout ahead, and I could search for fiends and devils. I could scout ahead, and then I could go ahead and kind of do a pulse and see if I can sense any in the area, and we can use that. And between Gannon and I, we should be able to have an idea if they're in the. It's not going to cover the whole city by any stretch of the imagination, but it will give us a decent concept of if anything's in right near us.
It could, if we spread out and he takes a long whiff. I cast divine sense.
Really playing up that pipe.
So yeah, it's 60 feet. So I mean, if I'm 30 feet this way and he's 30 feet this way, I mean, we can cover some pretty good ground with that. Now it doesn't last for very long, but it would definitely be a nice pulse detection to see what is out there. But yeah, does anyone have any other thoughts, plans? Because I only have one other thought, but I want to see if anyone has anything else first.
I just want to know if I got anything when I cast divine sense, David.
When you cast divine sense right now, nothing.
Remember, walls block it.
Mm-hmm. So there doesn't seem to be an imp or anything in the room with you guys, so you're certain of that, as certain as you can be. But Dagmar will answer your question. She does have now, and this is kind of out of character, but she does have access to second level spells now as a cleric. So let me double check as far as that goes. What some of those things. And chat, if you want to call out some fun spells that a cleric has access to at second level spells, that might help with something like that. I'm trying to think of some of the ones that she would have access to that could be good with this.
I think they get a spell called Kill Strahd at second level.
You're right! Holy shit! Did
At
you just
second
add
level.
that? You just
Second
added
level.
that, didn't you?
I found that in Wikipedia, so it should be right.
Oh,
yeah.
while she's kind of looking-
Jeremy'sWiki.org.
Well, she's looking through her spell book. The only person that we want to talk to before we go is the coffin maker. I forgot the boy from the church. He told me that they had the bones, and that's the reason the church was able to be attacked. He didn't know where they kept it, but he told us to speak with the coffin maker. So we should definitely go and seek him out.
I also can disguise myself, perhaps as the shady guy we saw in the alley. And as I say that, I cast Disguise Self, and I turn myself into a Minotaur.
Fucking, of course you do.
Massive horns just kind of point out. The most amazing Minotaur you guys have ever seen. A cleaned up and just glorious version of the one that was, expelled out of Ganon's body.
And
That's what a minotaur looks like.
I just
Walks
look at
away.
Ganon.
Completely out of the fucking room. It just he's gone.
He's gone.
Oh god, that's pretty great.
And I say, moo?
Oh, it's too bad because I just had this finish. Well, it's an incredibly fine-made blade.
As Hoyt kind of perks up.
But I mean, it doesn't have any. I mean, I gotta say, the spear, that's really what you want. That's a good piece, some kind of a gem. I mean, this is a really fine blade, though. Essentially, it's a +2 sword.
Is that Minotaur gone yet? Can I come back in?
I don't know. Take a look into the room.
He gazes in.
He gazes in, and you see a Minotaur.
Do I see the sword?
Make me a perception check. Let's see how well you see one versus the other.
You see a
let's
Minotaur
get
walking
this all
towards your
away.
sword.
The Minotaur walks towards the sword and...
Nah, I'm gonna clip that motherfucker. I'm going for it.
Alright, I need to pose athletics checks on this one, I think. Or let's make it a dexterity check. This is gonna be an initiative type.
No. We could go with Strahd. I want to.
No. This is gonna be initiative. Who reaches it first? 100%. So dex checks from both of you guys.
True.
All right.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna clip him.
Ability check, right?
Just ability.
Oh no!
Even though, yeah. So you. Oh shit!
You want that
All
back?
right, Voth, what did you get?
I rolled a 17.
And Gannon, what did you get?
A natural 20.
For a total of 22, as the Minotaur just kind of like cockily starts moving towards it. You see kind of like swinging the shoulders more than he needs to, like a guy that just started his gym membership for the first time this year, right? It's just like kind of stretch out and kind of like doing the little cocky walk. Again, it's just like sword. And Voth, you feel yourself kind of just flung across the room as Ganon just like goes and Hoyt is like whoa, 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 and you kind of just get him in the face, push him over as you grab the sword and just hold it up. Suddenly lightning comes and just strikes outside the window.
I have the power. Oh god, that's great.
Oh, man.
All right. Now that you two are done, the only other thing that I think we need to address before we start this espionage mission, which, by the way, we are maybe the worst equipped group ever, period, ever, for a smash and grab, sneakily stealth assassin mission.
Dagmar just kind of goes, I mean,
1 out of 6, girl.
yeah,
The other 5 of
but
us
remember
are-
how you went sneaking forward, even though I'm kind of really good at it. How about we just? All I'm saying is let's try trading those, and I'll go first, and you
I'm
come
totally
if needed.
good with that. I was going
Maybe-
to come with you since I'm going to be invisible now, but
Finn and I can do it. Yeah. It's got that spell. It's really cool.
Yeah, and also got.
I still understand why there's some kind of a weird hammer thing in the back of his crossbow. Whatever. And I'm done role playing those characters.
The other thing is the manner of the ritual that you two are going to do.
And
Well, Mac is
sense in the room gets
damn busy
much
right now.
more severe.
I guess when he's done talking to Smokey Boy,
I mean,
Right.
Hoyt, we had I guess while we're waiting, the other thing we had discussed was
I'm sorry, y'all. This is to
What?
Jason, Clancy, and Chris for playing their characters. That's I feel like I'm just roasting them. Anyway, Hoyt.
we had talked about
He doesn't even know Voth, by the way.
yeah, I was actually talking to you, David.
Yeah.
I actually talked to Jason and what he was going to do with his infusions, which I guess it doesn't fully matter because we're not going yet, was he was going to give Ganon, he was going to take the infusion off the repeating shot off of Finn's bow and give Ganon +1 armor. And then he was going to give me Mind Sharpener.
Yep. I have that on call, but all that stuff will come into effect at the end of a long rest, and that'll be later in the day.
That's what I figured, but I was just telling you that when we were waiting for Jeremy because I don't think
Sure.
we have anything else.
Knack. If you want to, that is something that we could certainly roleplay in the beginning of next session next week. As you walk off, spoilers, you're not getting accosted during this. You have an interesting time with a young man who certainly has taken to the arcane studies without anyone helping him. He autodidactically was able to decipher complex arcane formula out of a spellbook that he found. You see that he tried to scribe a magic circle upon a floor, but it is incomplete. And as he shows you this, and you guys kind of discuss things back and forth, and we'll address those next week, you guys see as Knack and Smokey Boy, aka Victor, come back into the room. There's a smile upon both of their faces, as they seem to be hitting it off, academically.
This is my new son.
Better than my old father. So, is there something I can do for you?
Okay, what's going on, guys?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know who you were talking to. That's
No, they had kind of like walked back in. The last thing you had said to Victor is like, yeah, maybe you might be of use depending on what plans you came up with. So from Victor's perspective, he's like, he has no idea that you guys are gonna do a morbid blood ritual.
Yeah, we'll do that later, I guess. So I guess what we're gonna do is we're going to go. We still need to talk to the coffin maker. Do you know him?
Thunderhood. Yes. He's
Good man. Trust him. Good person. Bad person.
Neither, but I do not trust. No.
Why not? Why don't you trust him?
I don't trust anyone, to be honest. But him, I just don't know well enough. He seems a spooked sort, easily scared.
Okay.
Just probably go in soft.
That
Okay.
came out very wrong, Mentor.
You'll find that most things I do sound very wrong.
Noted. That's not a
So,
requirement for tutelage, yes. Ugh.
The group took a vote. I'll give you the cliff notes. You have two choices. Choice A, chase after Zachiel, knowing that he's playing Frankenstein with someone in another city, and has two items that we were foretold that we needed. But in doing this, the situation in the town will most likely just continue to degrade and get worse. Option 2, try to save the town, with the hope that it will knock off an ally of Strahd, as well as either the people of the town will be useful to us at some other point, or won't be used against us. But the Zachiel and his, charlatan friend will probably continue to make more monsters, and he may leave and our trail may go cold. Ganon's vote was for the city. Voth, I don't actually remember who you voted for, which way you voted.
Well, I feel like you're here now, and you can probably take care of this pretty fast. So, might as well bang it out, I think.
Okay. 2 for the city. We'll just say since they're not here.
I can say Dagmar would probably vote for Vallaki just because she grew up here. Finn has been saying in chat he just wants to kill people. So, you guys can take that vote.
Finn is for Zachiel, so we've got 3-1.
I don't think. But I think we try to save the city, not just because it could be. This might be the first city that we can actually consider allies, because with this lady in charge, even before, wasn't entirely safe.
Okay. Well then, Hoyt and I don't need to vote. It's over. So we're gonna save the city, and I'm gonna kind of turn to his new apprentice. I'm gonna be like, and you're apparently going to accompany us and assist us?
I've no interest in traveling with you or going to the castle. Not yet. I am cognizant enough of my own limitations. A lot to learn, and
I'm just talking about assaulting the witch that's here that's trying to take over the city.
I would be willing to help out at a distance. Again, I have not practiced my abilities in combat. I would just be worried about being more of a hindrance than of service.
Could you at least then, if you don't feel confident in combat, I guess you and the 4 guards could at least keep the manor safe?
Definitely. That is what I've been working on thus far.
And you know a little bit of the manor. Could you give us kind of a outline of?
Yeah, and I'll do that off screen so you guys have like a...
Knack, since the plan was, if that's what we're going to do, that since it is the middle of the afternoon, we were going to actually kind of rest now, not wait until tonight. So that way it would be the dead of night when we wake up. And then Finn is going to use Pass Without a Trace. And David, mechanically, quick question. Pass Without a Trace just gives us advantage on our stealth checks, correct? No?
It is an
10.
automatic plus 10, which is...
Really?
Yeah, it's way better, way better.
Oh, yeah.
So question then. So because I don't want to have to use that dust if we don't have to. The fact that, and I'm hoping I didn't just take this as a complete waste, otherwise I'll just, I guess, change it next level. Now that I can go invisible at night, does that mean that I have advantage on stealth checks? How does that work?
It's not that. Invisibility gives you a lot of really good advantages. Anything trying to attack you that relies on sight has disadvantage. You have an advantage against attacking any creature that relies on sight to detect you. And additionally, any spell, any effect that says a creature you can see cannot target you. Okay. And we had a whole long thing, like invisibility is it's a really good ability, but there's a reason why it's a 2nd level spell. It doesn't like make you into like pseudo god mode where it's like nothing can target you and that kind of thing. I just want to make sure like you like know where I'm coming from. That's one of the big things for me as a DM, right? Like making sure that you understand. Because I thought that you had to do like perception checks and stuff like that to figure out where a creature might be. According to to 5th edition, to 5th edition, Crawford and all the others essentially say that you can hear where a creature is, you can hear the swing of a blade or the casting of a spell and those kind of things, even with greater invisibility. And because of that, you are actually able to technically know which square a creature is from, unless, and here's the important part, it takes the hide action. So what invisibility allows you to do is hide in plain sight, in a literal sense, right? You can be standing in the middle of a room, be invisible, and as an action, take the hide action to try to make a stealth check. Otherwise, normally, you cannot try to do that. So those are some of the advantages. The drawbacks are, yeah, in a way, you technically are not imperceivable, and you don't get advantage on stealth checks. You just happen to be able to make stealth checks even in plain view.
Okay, because the only reason I even took it was because the few times we've tried to send a like rogue forward, they've like almost died. I took it for the sole purpose of being able to basically, because it says that if they rely on dark vision, they still can't see me, so that I could just use it to scout ahead. So therefore, if a fight starts, we have a melee combatant up at the front.
Invisibility at will is not bad at all. It's really, really good. But if you want to, we can chat after the stream a little bit too, because I want you to feel confident with your choice for sure.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask mechanically. So I guess the plan is going to be that we rest now and do all that. So Knack, do you need your bones so you can do that before we rest? Or do you need to do that after we rest? Or how does that work?
I'll do it before we rest.
And do we want to do the ritual before we rest, or what?
Oh, yeah.
What's
Maybe we can.
ritual?
Esmeralda just goes, yeah, please tell him. What a ritual.
So here's the thing.
We're not bad guys.
We have this crazy ass spear that is hungering for blood.
Yeah, this one. It's a ranger spear.
It says.
And Voth, as you can probably tell, has been reanimated a couple times.
There is an appreciation of and like a kind of flashing across Victor's face.
And he wants to rest. And so, pardon the pun, but our thought was to kill two birds with one stone. He wishes for rest. The spear needs at least 5 people's blood. And so he was going to sacrifice himself on the spear to make it become even more powerful so that the little crack baby over there can use it to shoot things.
We're gonna kill this Minotaur.
In a bathtub, by the way. Is there a bathtub upstairs?
Yes, it belongs to my mother.
Perfect.
Absolutely, it is yours. One condition, of course. May I take notes? And
he looks towards you, Voth.
Would you be amenable to me examining your body after the fact?
You can examine it, but I'm leaving my body to Knack.
Of course, I will be his apprentice, so under his tutelage. Well?
Okay, I guess we're going upstairs.
I'm gonna kind of take Voss to the side and be like, are all of you amenable to this? Are all of you sure this is what you want?
Yes. It started out just one of us, then more of us, now all of us. We all got tired at different rates, but now we think it's time. And this still fulfills our mission to fight Strahd, just in a roundabout way.
Well, that's a noble decision. And I don't do this jovially. Is that a word? But I would be happy to take part and do honor for all the lives you've lived.
Can I hear?
You skag. You want Victor to pack us one up before you go?
Oh, why not?
Why'd you call him a sea?
All right, Victor. Would you mind?
What do you want me to do? What can I do?
Hand him
What does this
the pipes.
Sure.
Just
He walks over, has 2 pipes ready. Hands them to you guys.
And I just firebolt it a little bit to blow it out.
I'm just kidding.
He's like, he gets in, he's like, fireball.
Do a little cheers about it.
All right. Finn kind of comes up to you, Voth, and just goes, "Hey, man, I kind of have this thing where I have abandonment issues. People just keep coming into my life and leaving, especially when I like them. And, just thought that, man." You see he has, like, ink splotches all over his hands as Victor says, "Did you use my ink?" As, he goes, "Yeah, whatever. And hands you a letter that is, like, all ink stained and stuff like that from his little, reptilian hands. Don't read it when everybody else is around. They're just gonna make fun of me.
Well, when else is he gonna read it?
I'm not gonna.
Maybe
have
right
many more
before. I
chances.
mean, like his life is like super long now. Like every moment stretches out, right?
Chris said you were at a 10 for that, by the way.
Yes.
I also want to walk up to Voth and just kind of quietly say, I noticed that you've been patting your pocket. Is there something of sentimental value to you that I could use to honor you?
Oh, the pocket. Yeah, it's where I keep our diaries. You see, I get flashes of our history now and then, and to try and remember all of us, I write down what I see, and I pull out a little journal that I keep, and it has small mementos like a ring that was in one of my hands, and that kind of stuff. And if you were to read it, you would find out that
he's like, "This is my save.
books.
Hit the books."
And so if you were to read the book, you would see that his name isn't actually Voth von Vox. It's multiple people. There was one guy named Voth. There was another one named Vox, and they make up the most of them. So when he was made whole again with various people, he took the name Voth von Vox to kind of honor the ones that made up the most of them. But there's a lot of others that make up smaller pieces. And that's what's in the book.
Well, I'd be happy to either to kind of put your book to rest, or if you'd like one of us to keep it, we'd be happy to do that for you as well.
I would like Finn to keep it, and there'll be a part of me in that weapon. So my story will continue. Our story will continue with that weapon. So he can fill it out with the story of the weapon and his story.
Quick question. When you said is there an actual ring that's in that book, or is it a drawing of a ring?
No, there's like small little trinkets. There might be like a ring and other small little stuff that, was on the different body parts. But yes, there is like at least one ring and
Kind of like tied to the binding.
yeah,
What do you-
exactly.
Shit, why am I forgetting this term? But you Americans have a thing where you just put a bunch of random ass stuff. Scrapbook, that's the word. And you make like a
Basically,
legit
yeah.
thing out
Shadow
of it.
box.
Yeah, shadow box, right? But scrapbook, it's
It's
kind
called
of like
hoarding. It's called
Right.
hoarding. Yeah.
He's like a scrapbook person, so
he's literally a guy. Oh my god, yeah, that was amazing. Voth, you got a GM inspiration for that one.
Oh great. I'll fail my death throw real well.
yeah, you try to kill yourself. You're like, I'm still alive. I'm in a lot of pain.
Let me use my DM inspiration on my death throw.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I keep this ring?
You can keep that, sure.
So I'm going to pull out a chain that's around my neck that actually has 2 other rings on it. One that's, smaller and more dainty, and then another one that's a little bit larger. And I'm going to unhook it and put it on there and then close it back and put it back under my armor.
It'll keep you safe. You could say it might aid you.
Nice.
Yep. Guess it's that time.
But at this point, Victor comes back down.
Everything is prepared upstairs.
And he just opens the door and kind of like just waves his hand into the hallway.
You have the rose petals laid out the way I like.
Is the bath filled with milk?
We do have milk. You're right,
That
you
much?
really liked it.
All right, let's go upstairs.
That's canon now, I guess.
This is good.
That's canon now.
Oh my god.
As you guys walk into the hallway, up the stairs, and roundabout to a little bathroom. The clawfoot tub, just beautiful porcelain at the bottom, it's just like these iron feet. You can see that he has laid out all of this kind of like leather all around it for the blood splatter that might fall. You see that there's actually candles that have been set up all about to kind of like illuminate the pathway up. There's a little lectern that he actually set up in the corner of the room, and you see multiple parchments that just stacked on top of each other, little quill and pen, everything just set up on the side as he kind of stands there like a student about to give a lecture, but in this case, receive one first hand. As Finn just goes, I mean, is there like no way where you can like die but you're still there? Because
Well, that's what I am now. Dead, but still here. That's what we're looking to end.
And he kind of like runs up to you, puts his little arms around your quad pretty much. She's like, okay, I'll play you a fiddle every day at noon because, well, fuck the other guy.
That was good.
I'm working on my Oscar, guys. Just if you want to get suggestions in there, just
Set it up for next year.
Did you play Marvin Gaye for him while it goes out?
on this one, God, I wish we had the rights for that stuff. That would be fucking tight. But as you guys start the process, Voth, you kind of take off your clothing, set it off to the side, and you guys can fully see now that all the different parts and pieces of different individuals that have been stitched together and made into one solid man. His shoulder on one side seems to be much darker. A beautiful chestnut brown that kind of extends down past the elbow and that turns into this pasty pale white. You see a pinky seems to be a completely different complexion. You see all of these stitch markings that are almost invisible as they have healed themselves over. And as he flexes and kind of stretches and rolls back his shoulders, Voth, you kind of step forward. As you turn around, naked as can be, and everybody just kind of looking upon you, Knack, you take this spear as, I guess, Finn reads the letter out loud, and FYI, this is Finn reading the letter. It's like, whatever, I'll just read it. Just give it to me. It's too late. Okay? Words may seem pointless as they can't be carried with you, wherever you may go from here. And he kind of looks at you, kind of waiting for you to like nod at him that yes, you listen to that. I often wonder, when my time comes, whether by choice or not, will my final thought be that thing that sticks with me in the afterlife? When I was a child, it was said that to die by a dragon, whether in service of one or in defeat by one, was the most noble way to die. If you died in service, you would ride through the heavens on the back of the beast in which you served, forever in honor. If he died in defeat, you would relieve the anguish of the towering jaws grasping down on you for you to suffer in eternity. Although, I did not know you, not really know you, I mean, I don't know most of you. I do not know your story, your life, your accomplishments, or your failures. I know what I've seen from you in our short time together. To make such a sacrifice for us and to better our chances against the Strahd guy is all I ever would need to know of you. With all that said, in the spirit of my childhood stories, I hope you close your eyes and picture a bolt from the weapon you helped create piercing the skull of Strahd and the thousands of lives you will have helped save for such an act. Fly into heaven with speed and fury, my friend.
I'll look at Finn, and I'll say that's not something I'll have to imagine. And he casts this guy self again, and he turns into Strahd, and he says, "This will just be the first time this weapon kills Strahd. There will be another."
That's your cue.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Finn's crossbow's in there, right?
Finn's crossbow has been set in there. The blood spear lays next to it, and as you step up closer with the dagger in your hand, you hear the whispering.
Yes, yes.
All right. So I'm gonna stick the dagger in the side of the neck here, all the way through the other side, and then push forward as I'm standing behind him.
Jeremy has seen too many videos. As he pushes it forward and the blood just squirts out. And there's kind of like this wave, this moment as a petal of a wave of blood just seems to kind of suspend there for a moment. Knack. As you cut through, the voices seem to just suddenly become screams and shouts, like nails scraping against your very psyche as you find yourself ripped out of your body and everything kind of goes black for a second and you find yourself suspended, floating above a mountainside, snow covering, glistening below you. You see the opening to some kind of a temple perhaps, or structure, something odd. You see a road that fades away under that covering of snow, but it takes you far enough to see the facade of that temple, carved into the sheer mountainside. The front of the structure is maybe some 50 feet high, and you see 6 different alcoves containing 20-foot-tall statues. Each statue is carved from a single block of amber and depicts a faceless, hooded figure, its hands pressed together in a gesture of prayer. Between the 2 innermost statues, you see a 20-foot-tall archway with a staircase leading down into complete darkness. And you just hear 6 cacophonous voices all at once saying,
You have begun your prayer.
and as Voth's body falls into the bathtub and Nak, you kind of come back out of it and the blood just kind of drips all over your hands and down your arm. And there's just the last convulsions of Voth as the blood fills the tub. That is where we're going to leave it for this week's session.
Rip.
We're going to miss Voth. Oh, I miss Voth.
He's happy where he is now. Inside a weapon used to kill people.
You guys took Voth to the farm there.
Literally.
We took him down to the creek.
Oh my god.
Let him get one last look at the water, and then put 2 22s in the back of his head.
Also, credit to Chris sending that off screen. So that was actually those were Chris's words. I just want to put that out there too. That was actually all Chris. So kudos to him
He
for that.
did send me that in Discord.
Sal, it has been an absolute freaking pleasure to have you as a guest. Thank you so much for being part of this.
It was fun.
If we can have you again in the future as a guest character, we'll definitely let you let us know when you're free and stuff like that. If we ever have someone that steps out or something, that'd be awesome. That said, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys, you players, for interacting with us. I know this was pretty much like Knack's position today, but it was enjoyable, and it couldn't happen without you guys. For all you watching for the first time, we do this every Thursday at 7 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. Sorry, every Sunday. My brain is fried. It's been a long weekend. It's been an awesome weekend. If you ever find yourselves in New Mexico, go to the White Sands and Carlsbad Caverns. They're phenomenally cool. They're so cool. If you're running an underground or Underdark campaign, the Carlsbad Caverns will give you ideas for years. But all that said, so thank you guys so much. As a reminder, as Drake has said, we're going to be giving away a digital copy of the Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft at the end of the month. If you followed, subscribed, cheered at any point, if you have Twitch Prime, not Twitch Prime, but Amazon Prime, you can actually subscribe for free, just as an FYI. But thank you guys so much. Sal, huge thank you to you. That was phenomenally roleplayed. And to your partner in the backgrounds too. I think she added a very good extra element to who Both was.
That was just one of the voices in his head that you're
Exactly,
hearing.
right?
Mm-hmm.
It was just so well timed.
Yeah, they are.
You're gonna have to tell me
Priceless.
what you heard, because I don't know.
Hit the books.
Yeah,
Hit the books!
In the middle of you doing that, we heard hit the books.
That was amazing. Oh, man. Alrighty, y'all. Well, we'll see you guys next Sunday. Stay safe out there, and obviously, happy Mother's Day to everyone out there. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Make sure to rate somebody, David.
Oh, yeah, and we're going to be raiding. So hang on. As we're leading out, there's going to be a raid, y'all. So let's get ready for that raid mode.